explain. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, Sean's recording. All righty.
I am recording. I'm just recording the audio.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in terms of a recap, I mean, we could start at the basics. We've got Ascalon, Con, Garm, and Staus Sebeno. How do you pronounce that, Sean?
Sebeno.
And you should all be in Foundry.
Sebeno.
I think I see that all of you are. You should see the map. There should be fog on the map, hopefully. Correct. And you should see that I've added the fishing shack that you stopped at. And I've added the river ford where you crossed. I figure when we do, since river crossings is such a big thing in this game, when you find a ford, we'll mark it so you can use it.
Smart.
But if you're not at that hex face, you can't use it. You have to find a new one or pass some other way, right?
Did you mark it with the word ford or just a floating body?
It's the word ford. Yeah. Absolutely. So I can probably unpause the game. Let me see here. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did 2 quarters. I think you started in Varasa, that ruined elven city in the woods there to the west as a starting point of, and the conceit of the game being head east, get to the coast, catch a ship so you can get to the Bitter Reach. So you can get to Northfall and get to the Bitter Reach, right? And we'll fill in various gaps. I think we had a little bit of conversation after the game, prompted by me about whether or not we needed to hardwire you guys into some more like serious motivations. And I think I heard from all of you that we're all comfortable sort of rolling with it and developing that as we go, right? True.
Yes.
Only Kevin agrees. Okay.
No, true.
Okay.
All good.
Okay. Excellent. So then I think you traveled a couple of hexes and then you crossed the river. You could see the lake and the shack from across the river, so decided to go in that direction. And then when you came upon the shack was, you approached it, I think, relatively carefully. I think a couple of you were up front and you discovered a couple of bodies in the dirt near the fishing shack. I think there were a couple of boats by the lake. There's a couple of pieces here that will be minor retcons, and Sean, per your episode, I'll use retcon the proper way here. So there are a few things that I'll cover when we actually, turn the crank and start playing. But some of that would be like, there's probably some minor outbuildings and that sort of thing that you probably haven't poked your nose into yet. You can picture what a fishing shack would look like on a lake like this. There'd be a couple of buildings where the guy keeps traps, where he keeps his fishing gear and all that kind of stuff, right? So now I want to get information from you guys, because this is where I don't remember. I know you searched the inside of the building, right? And there were a few little discoveries that were made. I remember, Wayne, you doing some sort of discovery, and maybe it was Con as well, around sort of perhaps what killed these 2 people in terms of was it a big battle? Were they surprised, et cetera, right? And then there was the searching around sort of inside. And then I think when we finished was when the hand was coming off. It was right about then. Is that timeline about right?
Yep, I think so.
Am I Stacks is what I remember.
Am I forgetting anything big? Kevin, you're welcome to check your notes, or you guys can just pitch ideas.
I don't remember anything big that you're missing.
So Kevin, your notes were in the Gaming and BS room 4? Is that right? Okay.
They're up above a little bit.
All right.
Or I can share.
Okay. The last thing I'll do is make a request where, it's been 30 days since I've used Foundry as well, as I discovered this afternoon. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe get reoriented with this. So if you guys stumble across something that looks like the permission should be that the players can't see it, just tell me and I'll hide it or whatever. So there's a chance. There's a couple of things I've added that I don't know if you can see or not. I don't think you can, because I think the default is you can't. But if you run across it, let's just take care of business, basically.
Is that the fact that we can see the orc tribes written on the map?
No, I wanted that. I want because one of the tough parts, I think, of Forbidden Lands that they don't really address in the books is how you start somebody off in a single hex. How'd they get there, right?
Right.
And I'm actually just starting a play-by-post game of this as well, and thought about it a little bit harder. There's another guy who's running it, and I gave him a number of ideas. Like, it could be the party was underground and came up like, open air type of thing. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. What I decided to do here was sort of say, maybe you came down that Cester River Basically you came from the west and you're traveling to the east. So when we started, you were camping amidst those ruins. I think that Ascalon was probably hoping to find some goodies in the ruins of an elven city, but you guys found it largely picked over. And I guess the last thing I'll say in terms of scene setting, you might remember that broadly speaking, the way I'm going to portray the Forbidden Lands here is that war is brewing between like the Rust brothers and the orcs. So the orcs are on the move, are marshaling the clans, and the Rust brothers are on the offensive as well. So it's there's a little bit of extra danger in the countryside, just from those two groups sort of clashing together and going after each other type of thing.
Yeah. And based on what we had seen of the murder scene of the father and son, because it was a father and son, right?
Was.
It didn't
maybe older man
Sure.
and
Yeah.
younger kid. Yep.
Yeah. It seemed like whoever had done it probably wasn't orcs, because the house hadn't really been picked through. Didn't look like anything had been looted. So we made an assumption that it could have potentially been Rust brothers.
You did. And
Okay.
in fact, nothing was ransacked. And I think you even found some minor treasures and trinkets, right? If you want to look at your sheets, you can probably, or we can actually look at the chat. The chat may even tell us what we found. A knapsack, a bronze statuette.
Yeah.
Lots of fishing gear.
That's right. Okay. So one of the things I didn't remember is I remember there was discussion over what to do with the bodies, whether they would be burned or buried or put on the river. Was there a decision made, or are we opening the game, trying to make that decision? Go ahead, Wayne.
I thought we were burying the bodies, and that's why I was recycling during the burial process.
Yeah, I think we were just starting that process.
Okay.
I think we thought we'd bury.
Okay, I think that's right. So let's do this. Any last comments before we start? Seeing none. So the sun is low to the west, back the way you came, above all those pine trees, above the river that's far beyond your sight now. Tell me, who is it that's burying the two bodies? Who is helping Ascalon? Okay, so time for a little good night kiss.
I'm helping.
And Garm. Okay, so I would imagine there's a shovel nearby. So Garm is digging. I would like Ascalon, and we'll get to Con and Stas in a minute. But Ascalon, tell us a little bit about how you remove this hand and how horrible it is as you remove it.
I see him. He's been a healer, and to him, this isn't. It is grotesque to everybody, but he just doesn't see it as being that way. So he would have pulled out his little knife and made a nice circular cut, cut the ligaments in the little metacarpals. I can't remember. Sorry. And done a rather, pleasant, detailed job of it. He and I think I actually have the gear to do this. I have a parchment, but I don't have anything to write with. Okay. All right.
Always blood.
No, no, I'm not that ghoulish. Anyways, yeah. So to him, it's more clinical. Does that make sense? And it's not really even spiritual so much. It's just clinical. This is just material.
It's a resource that he needs.
Yeah.
And I think I got you. So in other words, it doesn't gross him out. He doesn't think it's anything crazy. He just basically sits there, maybe kneels and does it while Garm digs the grave. Right.
Right. And if Garm says anything, he'll just say, "Oh, this is actually very useful for my magic," and since there, since there's no one here, since there's no one here that might have, really object, I thought it would be prudent to do this.
It's just
quite-
meat now. Might as well use it. Other than eat it, I am not going to eat it.
No, it's not good for you.
All right. So Con and Stas, you have the building that you've largely searched inside, and it's a pretty plain affair, right? These guys were not living high on the hog. But out back, I think some of the things I neglected to mention last time, now that I thought about it a little bit, there's probably a couple of large wooden sort of chests that have like a 45-degree lid that opens this way type of thing, right? You would imagine there's either salt or fish or something in there for the guys' catch. There's a couple of boats, one of which is turned over and one of which is upright at the shore. And there's probably 2 outbuildings. There's probably an outhouse and there's probably a shed. So while the digging is going on, what are the two of you doing as it's getting later in the day? I would imagine you're probably going to think about ending the day here. But as Sean pointed out last time, it's the end of summer and you actually have another quarter of sunlight. So it's not going to be dark until like 10 or 11 at night, something like that. What are the two of you doing?
Was it the third quarter, Harrigan?
You are ending the second, and we're
Okay.
about to start the third quarter right now. I want to get a little bit of role play, and then we'll pick what you guys want to do in terms of actions for the quarter in a minute. Basically, Sean, all the discovery and searching was the second half of Q2.
Got it.
Right. Yeah.
I am going to. Should probably check out the shed. Has anybody gone to the shed?
Not yet.
Well, make sure you look for traps and any fishing gear. I'm going to go check out the boat. I think that could be invaluable, especially if we see any trouble coming.
I don't
Maybe
expect
we
to get
can-
hit by any traps.
No, we're not going to get hit by any traps. I'm just saying whoever did these murders might still be about. And if they come back, that boat there might save our lives if we can set off onto the open waters.
Sure. I'll go over to the shed. I'll see if there's anything of good resources in there.
Okay, so while there's sawing in the background and digging, shovels of dirt flying, you walk up to the shed. It's a structure that looks like the shelter, like probably the fisherman built it himself. I think I described last time, this is not a super permanent thing that's been around for, dozens or hundreds of years. This looks like it was erected in the last 2-3 years type of thing, but it's weathered, right? Not painted or anything, no windows. And it's just a simple wooden latch, which you undo and kind of peek in. And inside the shed, sure enough, you see tools, a bucket, and you do see lots of fishing gear. In fact, enough fishing gear that whoever wanted to put fishing gear on their sheet, they could. There's a lot of fishing gear in here that the guys got sort of stored up. It's big enough to kind of walk in, and that's about it. So it's probably 5 by 5 in terms of the floor plan, right? Not a very big building.
I yell across the way. Looks like there's some fishing gear in here. If anybody wants any fishing gear.
A line, hook, etc. I would imagine there's a patch nearby where you can dig for worms as well. They've got a little worm farm going.
I walk back to towards the main house.
So quickly, I think we can probably cover Stas. If you want to check out those 2 big bins at the back.
Oh,
There's
if I'm close by, I'll do those 2.
Yeah, while Con heads for the shore, those 2 bins contain dried fish and salt. So if you want salt, you can take it, but they contain enough fish, you could all raise your food dye by 1 die. There's a lot of dried fish in there.
I'll take some salt too.
Is there a way to carry it back, Harrigan?
Carry what back where?
Some of the fish, dried fish, from where it's at to the main cabin.
Yeah, well, so it's the dried fish is on the back of the main cabin, right against the
gotcha.
back wall outside.
Yeah.
And there's a bucket in the shed, so you could certainly get a bucket, and you could do whatever you need to do. Right?
Sure. Okay. I'd start grabbing some fish and look for a place to potentially cook it.
Got it. Got it.
Whether that's inside or outside, I don't know. But
I think we described there being a small stove inside before, like a little potbelly stove type of affair, like in a cast iron stove. Con, you head for the shore, and there's the lapping waters of this lake. And as you can see, it's probably 5 miles across to the other side, right? Where you see some mountains rising up to the northwest. And then to the east, you can see that the lake narrows a bit and then stretches on. It looks like the lake goes on for a long way, like further than you can see. So this is not a small body of water. And there are 2 dories. So they're sort of both 2-man rowboats. One of them looks like it's older and is turned over. Maybe isn't as seaworthy as it once was. And then there's a newer one that looks like it was made probably within the last year. And you would suggest that it's the one the guy was using until recently. It has the oars nearby, etc. But as you get down to the boats,
how many oars total? Is there just the 2, or do we see 2 for both boats?
I would imagine there's at least 2 pairs of oars.
So 4 total. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Indeed.
And the size of the boat, the newer one in particular, I'll check that one out first.
Okay.
Could we fit 4 people on it, or would that be a real tight squeeze?
4 people would be you could do it, but it would definitely be a tight squeeze and be a little risky if the seas were high, etc. But you can definitely get 4 people in it. You'd be, put it this way, if you've been in a dory before, you'd be sitting side by side with somebody, or somebody would be sitting between the places where you sit, the benches. Someone would be in the bottom of the boat type of thing. You could do it though.
Okay. So seeing that, maybe thinking about, okay, in a pinch, if we had to, we could. I think then I would probably go over to the other boat and look for, are there some holes in it? Does it look like it needs patching? Does it maybe look like it's just not waterproof anymore? What's the general condition of this thing?
Con, I would like you to make me a roll. I know that we're not supposed to roll scouting for finding things. Is there a crafting? What is it?
There is crafting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crafting.
Let's go for crafting.
Sure.
So you're sort of checking out the structure of this wooden boat.
Okay.
Looks, unless you're going to push that.
Yeah, I'll push it. I really want to give this a thorough once over, especially considering how you described the first boat. It does leave me a little leery. I'd be a little bit more comforted if we could go 2 and 2.
Okay. Does that mean you're willing to rock the boat, turn it over, inspect it more fully?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely, if I can't tell from looking at it on the kind of the outside, I would try to pick it up, roll it over, see what the interior of this thing looks like. Oh, I should just hit push. Sorry, my bad. So I'll take the one. I'll take the one. What is that? The 1 willpower, and I take 1 damage to strength.
Yes.
All right. I did all those things on my sheet.
Says that like he likes it. Yeah.
The willpower, most definitely.
So that's a point of damage to crafting. So
Strength.
I'm sorry. I meant strength. You you get some splinters as you grab onto this thing. You guys are familiar with 10, 15-year-old wood type of thing. It's sort of coming apart a little bit. You turn it over, you got some big old stickers in your hands. You have to pluck out. And you failed, didn't you, Con? You didn't get a success.
Yes.
So you would think you're gonna have to put this boat in the water to see if it's seaworthy. There's no obvious hole. There's no this thing will sink right away type hole. Okay. But the most surprising thing is when you turn this boat over and you get it up about halfway, and this is maybe when you get the splinters, there's someone hiding beneath the boat, and they scurry out to the side and take off. It looks like a young woman. She just bolts out to the side, doesn't say a word, just scrambles and leaves you standing there like, what the?
Yeah. Whoa. We don't mean no harm. We're just checking out the house. We're just traveling through. You don't have to run.
Kevin, you're making wrist cutting off motions.
Yeah. Ignore it.
We mean you no harm.
Savage.
You see that behind.
Yeah, it's like chopping the hand off.
Yeah.
No,
I would imagine. I'm picturing the shore being probably 100 feet from where you're digging the graves, something like that. You're probably not digging the graves right next door. It's kind of out back of the house near where you found the bodies. Mm-hmm. So Con, the woman is this. She looks like help me with the races, guys. Is it Alderlander?
Alderlander,
I think so.
Alelander.
Yeah, and Aitlanders are really Alderlanders who just migrated across the mountains. So it's that sort of typical ruddy-cheeked, fair-skinned. She's a brunette, has dark hair. She's probably in her mid-20s, you would say, and she is wearing sort of a shift or a robe, but she has a dagger in her hands. And she, as soon as you talk to her, she's got that dagger out and aimed at you as she's backing away.
Don't
So you
mean you
left
no
the-
harm. Look it. We're just passing by. I'm guessing you saw whatever happened here. It wasn't us. We just
It was-
stumbled upon your house.
She looks up towards. She sees them digging the grave. What are they doing then?
They're just burying the dead, just showing their respects.
What's your name?
My name's Con.
She takes her dagger and she sheathes it at her belt. And she says, "This was the Rust brothers who did this."
Oh, I'm not surprised. I thought it might have been their handiwork. Foul bastards, them Rust brothers. We got nothing to do with them.
How many of you are there? She's just kind of doing one of these. And I think Stas at this point is probably behind the house doing his thing with the fish. So maybe he's not visible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's only the four of us.
Where's the fourth?
I don't know. He's mucking about in one of the sheds, and I think he's maybe gone behind the house.
Give me an insight roll, Con.
Okay.
Okay, that's a failure. You're welcome to push.
No, it's okay.
It's all good. All good. All right. So she relatively quickly has sheathed her dagger. Like she either believes your story or doesn't see you as a threat. She's not on her guard the way that she was. And she says, "And where are the four of you off to?" And she starts walking towards the house, kind of leaving you behind if you're not staying with her.
We're heading. I'll follow. We're heading north. There's a lot of trouble in these lands. We've heard orcs and Rust brothers. It's talk of war. We don't want no part of that.
And what's north for you?
Possibly opportunity. One of my companions here is a trader. He says that there's potentially gold to be had to the north, so that's where we're headed.
Rogues and raiders, then, she says, dropping the name.
I guess you could say that, perhaps, but I mean, we didn't know that there was anyone else here, and I mean, the dead don't need these types of supplies. They're for the living.
The four of you notice, by the way, by now that there are, like on our map here, there are some carrion birds that are circling now. So these two have been dead for long enough now that they're starting to stink. I think Ascalon, you can see that not only is Khan coming up from the beach, but he's got a woman with him as well. She's leading the way.
Was
I'll
this
say,
this
hey,
is
Garm,
your family? I'm guessing.
Look,
Garm will stick the shovel in the ground and put his foot on top of it as he turns and looks and just kind of watches for a little bit.
So I think all five of you come to a moment where I think Stas walks around the corner with a bucket full of fish. Garm's head pokes out of the grave that he's digging. Ascalon turns, and this is just as Khan is asking whether this was her family, and she just nods and says, "Aye." Not no
I'll
more.
I'll walk over.
With the
walk
hand
over.
in your hands, or do you leave the hand?
No,
on the
no,
ground?
no. I'll, that's in my pack.
Okay. You're just bundling it into your pack and closing up your
Right.
pack.
What do you plan on doing then? Are you going to stay here, or are you going to move on?
Ascalon, are you obviously an elf?
Yeah.
Like nothing covering the ears, that kind of thing?
No, I mean, yet he's sheltered. I see him as not, he's not. He's learned, but I don't see him as particularly.
World-wise.
Yeah, the streetwise, no. So, I mean,
So
he
her-
knows enough to know that some people will not take to him, but
Her
when he- as he
pace.
comes,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
As he comes closer, he's like, "Oh, a survivor. Are you hurt?"
So her pace slows as she sees that the two figures by the grave are in fact an orc and an elf. And she looks over at Stas and back at Khan. It's just like, what kind of a group is this then? She's ignored, Khan, your question about what she's going to do, whether she's going to stay here, etc. She doesn't even acknowledge that you asked it. She's taken aback by the elf and the orc. And I think, Garm, are you up out of the grave by now? Or are you still down in the grave?
Yeah, I climb up and get
Okay.
out, but I stay by the hole. I won't come any closer, especially as she looks wary.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
you already know what we are. You've already said it. We're rogues and raiders.
I'm a scholar, but
Take offense.
She looks at Aslan and says, "You're a native. You're from this place."
correct.
She just nods.
But I have much to learn from you folk as well. And again, are you hurt?
No, I hid while it happened. I've come to no harm, unlike them. She points at the man and the boy.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry that this happened to your family.
As am I.
What would you do? I'm sure. What will you do?
What can I do? I'm not staying here. I'm no fisherman. My father was the provider. I'll tag along with you if you'll have me.
Oh, that's fine with me.
What's Stas doing with his bucket of fish?
He's looking at the fish, smelling it as it wafts into his nose.
It's dried, right? So you don't even have to cook it. You could actually just like jerky.
Sure. I kind of feel like awkward, like but we're about to eat all her food as she shows up, right? Like,
You're like,
can we have some of this?
help yourself. There's more than I can eat.
We'll make sure you have plenty if you happen to stay. How many of those Rust brothers were there?
I hid. I didn't see them all. Half a dozen, maybe more.
Did you see which way? I know you were hiding, but which way? You didn't see which way they went.
She shakes her head. No,
Oh, you're lucky to be alive.
not. She gestures towards the river the way you came. Not that way.
Hmm.
They came from, I think, the woods. And as you can see on the map, the woods is kind of to the south and southeast. So that, process of elimination, they probably didn't come from the lake. They didn't come from the river. There's a couple of hexsides they probably came from, she says. Gestures. That away.
Lucky
I am.
Lucky to be alive.
I know.
I'm Ascalon. What is your name?
My name's
I'm sorry,
Arta.
Inca.
Marta?
She does Arta. Arta.
Is that does it come from your mother or grandmother?
My mom. She named me.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try something here. See if it works. I think I
Oh,
just
look
showed
at
you.
that.
I think I just
Nice.
showed you an image.
Cool.
There you go.
I will say, well, I know you've met Khan here. That is Garm, and this is
Hi.
Stas.
She nods. Nods at Khan as well.
Do you wish to say?
You should
do
you should look after them splinters. You got some blood on your hands, Khan.
I'll take care of myself in a little bit.
Do you wish to say anything over the graves?
I do. We should put them to rest.
How about we
Burgess.
finish burying the deer? I'll make sure they're good and buried, and I'll call you. You shouldn't have to see anything.
She nods.
Is that all right? Okay.
She's either stoic or otherwise doesn't seem particularly perturbed by what's happened. So maybe she's lived a hard life. It's hard to know.
Maybe she didn't love. Maybe she may have loved her family, but not loved being here. But
Yep. I won't say there's something going on, but you can detect that she's not like on her knees weeping, right? So
I'll start to walk away. I'll turn around and I'll say, Arta, do you know how to use those boats?
I can row as well as anyone.
Is there a settlement around here on the lake?
Across, there is.
Is it a safe place?
No. What settlement is these days?
Huh.
The Rust brothers
Brothers
are they're through there all the time, looking for the Raven sisters.
The who? The Raven sisters.
Followers of the Raven.
Sisters. Does that ring any bells?
It does. It's a whole sect of a religion. So we talked about it a little bit in session 0, but not a ton. Basically, the Raven sisters believe there's a different version of the origin myth, right? Where the bird that carried the snake to the lands of the west, to the Raven land, the bird was the real power. And in the south, the human empire thought that was sacrilegious. They believed the serpent was being just guided by the bird. So the Raven sisters are the ones who crossed into the elven and dwarven lands like 1,000 years ago, and why there are lots of wars. So the Raven sisters were humans that sort of came to these lands and made peace with the elves, but they are now persecuted and had been persecuted for hundreds of years by the Rust brothers, who believe that thinking the bird is the god is sacrilegious. I think you would all know that. There's sort of like 3 different sects. There's like the worm, which is that's the god. There's Rust and Heem. So the materials that make up the 2 deities are what we should follow. That's the Rust brothers. And there's the Raven sisters as well. They're sort of like wandering druidesses.
Does she give off that kind of a vibe?
Not exactly, but I would also say it's not way out of the imagination. Like, the girl is fit. She is clearly of strong mind and sort of willful. So I'll say that. So either she's someone who's just grown up here and is dissatisfied with it, or she's been abroad. She seems to have some wider perspective.
I have one more question before I go over to the bodies. Does she look like the father?
Go ahead and roll insight. Ascalon.
Okay.
You guys are off to a roaring start with the dice.
Can I push? Sorry.
Of course you can push. If you make a skill roll, you can generally push.
And you need the willpower.
And he gets one.
Yeah.
So you saw
2 successes.
You saw the picture of the woman. The man and the boy totally look related. They both have wavy brown hair and the same sort of a little bit pushed up nose. This girl, Arta, does not have that. She has black hair, and her black hair is kind of much straighter. And her features are not like the man or his boy. That doesn't mean that she didn't take after her mother, however.
I just don't. Okay, so I just don't see Ascalon as like, a manipulative person. So he just rounds and says, "Funny, you don't look like your father at all," and then just walks off. But he says it loud enough that everybody else could hear it. And
she just watches him go and turns to Con and Stas and says, "Quite a declaration." I can't control that. Garm, what are you doing?
Digging. He just kind of looked up when
by now I think you're at the bottom. You're good.
Gotcha. I kind of like make sure that the soil's all like set to the side nice and he straightens up the bodies.
He's an organized work.
Yeah, he kind of figures we got to get this part done so we can go get some fish.
Fair enough. Okay, so as we formally move into the third quarter here, give me the broad strokes of what you're all planning to do in terms of the actions in the game. And we can move to another role play scene if we want to, but tell me just generally what you're doing in terms of if anybody's resting. Are you staying here? Are you moving on? What's the big picture? Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
I thought we stay here, but and to rest and then decide where we're gonna go. But
that's fine. I'll go take a nap. He points off to a tree. I can stay up all night.
Well, my only concern now is with her. I don't know if we're going to take her with us. Is she here for this conversation? I guess she would be.
It depends on if you want to just, gesture the guys aside or something like that.
Yeah, well, maybe with Stas in particular, since Garm's gone to take a nap, and I don't know. Ask Glenn, what are you doing at the moment, you think?
Well, I would want to be talking about what we're going to do, but
okay, cool. That's fine.
I'm not going to. Yeah.
Sure. So I guess maybe the three of us kind of, if we can kind of, I'll give like the symbol, like let's, very, very discreetly.
Hey to K, you to K, want to talk over here to K?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned here. I mean, if we got to make a quick getaway on one of those boats, the four of us are barely going to fit in it. And that other boat, I don't know how seaworthy it's going to be. So if she comes with us, we could have a bit of a problem on our hands. I don't want to be the one who's got to go in that old dinghy.
Is it even worth bringing her along?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, I feel bad for her, but it seems we might be taking on too many.
Could. I don't know, though. I mean, if the Rust brothers got her, I'd be horrible her fate. I don't know that anyone should ever be subjected to that.
Unfortunately, in these times, though, it happens. I mean, as crass as it may sound, she's lived this long. Maybe she dodged a blade. Her time's not up, but doesn't mean that we need to be in a boat that sinks because of her.
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't think that through. I kind of told her that I thought it was okay for her to come, but
that's an Ascalon thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with offering her, but doesn't seem like a contract was signed.
Well, how would we prevent her?
Are you willing to I think it might be pretty easy to prevent her. You anticipate her putting a sword to your throat and insisting upon her accompanying us? Come on, Ascalon.
Could she just follow us?
Well, I don't know how she would follow us if we take to the water.
Oh, I wasn't there for the inspection of the boat, so I'm not quite following. There's two boats, but one of them isn't.
One of them, I'm not sure about one of them. It looks pretty rough. Looks like it hasn't been put in the water for a long time. It probably needs to be repaired. I don't know though. I wouldn't want to go in it. My hands are all splintered up. I'm gonna have to at some point here soon.
Oh, I can help you with that, I think.
No, that's okay. I can take care of it myself. Thank you.
Look, just because I took off one hand doesn't mean I'm going to take them all off. I'm a professional.
I understand. I can take care of myself.
All right. Well, do we even, if we don't want to go to that city because the Rust brothers are there, do we even want to go by boat anywhere? I mean, is that going to we don't know where this lake goes.
True. I mean, we could maybe travel faster by boat, but I do agree. I wouldn't want to go to any place where the Rust brothers frequent. I'm just saying, in case of emergency, we should take to the water.
Oh, right.
I mean, if we travel by land and she comes with us, I mean, she will have to take care of herself, and if she keeps up, so be it.
There's nothing wrong with her deciding to do what she wants. I'm not her keeper. But, I mean, maybe that's it. She was welcome to tag along, but she'll have to hold her own. And, you know, if we're going to take a boat and the other one's not seaworthy, well, she might have to get maybe some precautions in case the boat starts to sink. All I'm saying is I got to get to the Reach. That's where it's at. And if she's with us or not, that is not my problem. That's not our problem. Unless you want it to become yours. This world is ruthless enough. She'll either make her own way or she'll do it with us. But I can't babysit.
I see that point. I just don't want to, tie her up and leave her for the Rust brothers. Although,
who said anything about tying her up? Ascalon, come on now. It's a bit of a reach. You know, I'm not even ruthless enough to do something like that.
Okay, so I do wonder though. She doesn't actually seem to look like at least one of her parents, but who knows? She may have been staying with even if she wasn't from here, she may have been staying with those people. But it does give me some pause. We may need to really keep an eye on her.
Yeah, she could kill you in her sleep, or your sleep, maybe my sleep. Somebody's sleep. I think we do what we do and we stick to the plan. We go to the Reach. That's the goal.
Okay.
We have somebody like her, of course we're going to keep watch. Just because we have her around doesn't mean we're going to stop the way we do things.
Right. So I guess the question is, do we use the boats and try to get, we know we need to go north and east, correct?
Yes, that's my understanding.
What you know is that the coastline is east.
Like this body of water could send us out to the sea, and then it's open sailing up to the north. Although sailing might be a bit of a harsh word with a paddle boat, but you know what I'm saying.
If you sort of interrupt for a second, but Margelda and Far-Vivend were both places that you believe have port cities, and they're both like in the east. Far-Vivend and Margelda. That's all I'll say about that.
Well,
I don't know if these boats are here to be able to take us all the way, but might be able to get us down if we're on the river or this lake, whatever this is. It may be easier to travel without incident. If we go by land, it could be a whole nother ballgame. We could run into those Rust brothers or orcs. Who knows? It's risky. But how many orcs and Rust brothers do you know swim?
None.
Aye.
Okay.
Are we willing to spend a day getting that other dinghy then seaworthy?
I don't have a deadline, but we do have shelter and we do have plenty of fish.
And we do have tools here, so I think it's worth a shot.
All right then.
I'm not much of a crafter, but I'll help as I can.
All right then. We'll spend at least one day here, see if we can't get that thing seaworthy.
That's a good plan.
Stas, I have a question for you. Your dark secret. Have a peek at it. Tell me how much you've been thinking about it. Probably not at all because we've just gotten the game underway. But what you're describing right now, like I gotta get to the Reach. I don't have, all the time in the world, I think maybe somebody's in pursuit because of your dark secret. So I want you to give that a think, and you can tell me later who that is. What will happen if they find you?
All right.
Yeah. So just give that a think. You can add that to your sheet. All right. So the three of you come out of the woods. So the overall approach is we're going to stick here for a little while, maybe try to get the boat fixed, right? The second boat, maybe chest it for seaworthiness. I would imagine in the shed, you probably found the equivalent of some pitch or something. You'd have to heat it up, but you might be able to use that to seal some of the seams in the boat that are a little old, repair some of the floorboards, whatever you need to do. But what does that mean action-wise for what you're doing right now? Who's going to keep watch for this quarter? You got a 6-hour stretch between about supper time and midnight, right? We got Garm sleeping. Wayne's got his hand in the air. Okay. Ascalon probably has various studying he can do, and he'll just keep watch at the same time. What about Con and Stas?
Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, so who's keeping watch?
Ascalon.
Ascalon is?
Yep.
Who's making camp?
You don't need to because you have a shelter.
Oh.
There was no need to do the make camp roll because you have a roof over your heads, etc. You will have to spend some time, I will say, with the burial, but not that much. Although with Garm sleeping, someone else is going to have to do the shoveling. He dug the hole.
Oh,
so.
I thought he'd done that. Sorry.
Well, I don't want to misspeak. Garm, were you thinking you'd already buried the bodies and covered them up? I didn't think so either. Yeah.
No, but Garm would say before he goes to bed, you could always leave the filling in the hole to me later. I can do that while you guys sleep or something. Keep watch. If you want. Or if she wants to fill in the hole. Whatever's needed.
I'm going to go sleep.
Okay.
Wake me if you need me to take watch during the before sunrise. I'll be over here. Just puts his stuff in a corner and props it up and starts like after, of course, he eats some fish. Yeah.
And Con.
I am going to tend to my hands, try to pull the splinters out as best I can. I do have a knife that I can use to try to aid myself doing that. I don't know how long that would take.
Well, mechanically, you don't have to do anything. Basically, as you rest, your strength will return, right?
Sure. But I don't know that I'm ready to rest yet. Maybe I will get started on getting that second boat up to snuff. So maybe go into the shed, sort the tools.
Okay. Let's call it another crafting roll over that time to sort of suss out what needs to be done. So in other words, you'll probably take inventory of the tools. You'll put the boat in the water and see what happens. You'll do those sorts of things. That make some sense?
Love it.
Okay. So as you're starting off on all these things, I will say this: as the three of you return from your little sojourn, maybe at the edge of the woods type of thing, you come back to find the young woman, Arta, standing kind of near the bodies, just looking at them. And there's a couple of birds that are now sitting on those bodies, picking at them. A couple of ravens, like picking at their faces. And she's just standing, looking kind of impassively at them. As the three of you come back. She sees you coming, and then she shoos the birds away. They rise into the air.
I'm not so much thinking this is her family.
Ascalon, where do you intend to keep watch?
I was going to, well, I can't see anything if I'm in the house. Right?
Yeah, just give. It doesn't have to be a single place. Give me your overall, you're going to patrol once in a while.
I'm going to go back to I'll walk around to where the bodies are, and I will, and I'll just kind of loop kind of in a semicircle around the house, so I can keep an eye on,
Do you make your? Let me ask this: Do you make your home base for keeping watch outside or inside?
outside.
Okay, so you'll be doing a little bit of a check this way, check that way once in a while. Do a bit of a perimeter look, that type of thing.
Right.
The typical role playing stuff. Okay, so Garm, I think you rest, so you'll be refreshed when you wake up. Con, I'm going to want a crafting roll. Stas, you are resting as well, right? May as well, even though the day's not fully over, why don't you all give me a food and water roll to see if that goes down. Remember, your food all just came up because you guys can all add fish. As long as you're willing to eat that fish, you can add it.
Okay. Do you want me to do the crafting roll first?
Doesn't matter. Whatever.
First.
Yeah, do the food and everything first. That's fine.
Do you have to do water as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you're going to drink from the lake.
No.
And remember, this really represents a day's worth, not just eating one time, right? I will say you can probably refill your skins though in the lake.
Yeah. Can we
Yeah.
fill them up?
Yeah, put them. What am I saying? Put them to a D12. Absolutely.
Okay.
The lake water's clean. Did anybody go down?
No.
You're all good. Okay. So, Con, let's try the crafting roll. Okay. You discover that you get some tools out and you find some pitch to do the ceiling. But what you discover is that the boat does have a slow leak. It's not like it sinks right away, but it takes on water after it's in the lake for like 15 minutes. You can see there's a bit of water in it. So you'll have to succeed at one crafting roll in another quarter to find out really what's wrong, and then another one. So you need 2 crafting rolls to fix it, and others can help you, and you can do teamwork and all that kind of stuff. So this quarter you really discover exactly what's wrong with it, and you prepare everything basically.
Beautiful. Okay.
Wayne, I would like from you your keep watch roll. I'm going to make a roll too.
Is that scouting?
Yes.
I don't.
Yep. Tis. How do I roll this damn thing?
Can I push it?
Can you push those rolls? I think so. Don't push it yet because there may not be.
I already hit it.
That's
Sorry.
okay. That's okay. That's all right. I'm looking at our former GM here, Sean. Do you remember? I think you can push those rolls.
Yeah.
Basically any skill roll.
Okay.
So help me out here, guys. On the tables that you unfold, how do you just roll on them? Got the table.
Yeah, macros. Do you have the macro, Harrigan, in your macro bar?
I don't, but I can maybe just drag it down.
It's
Go to compendium, yeah, and if you can see,
then yeah.
go to the macros. There's a list of them. Just put them. There should be one that does random encounter by terrain. I think
In the compendium, not in the tables.
you go to the compendium first. Go to the
You can-
macros under the appropriate one, and then just drag the appropriate one down into the macro bar.
If you import them, it should also put them in the tables, I believe. But
I believe it does, but then it also, I think, counts
I
against your
did-
storage.
So I've already done that. They're in the tables. I don't know how to do
Okay.
it from the tables, what my problem is. However, I have now figured out how to get the dice going. And you guys should not have seen that. Is that correct?
We see
we did see it.
the 36, but we don't know what it was a result of.
No kidding. It says private GM roll. Why would you be able to see that? That's strange. Forgive me for 1
do
second
you
here.
have your NPC highlighted?
Let's try that again.
No, it says Harrigan.
But if you,
Yeah.
I think if you do blind, it won't show up.
If you don't mind, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, sure.
But I thought I did private last time, and that was like, why would you be able to see it if it's private?
I still can see it.
And that's blind.
Wow.
You know what?
Yeah.
Weird. All right. Well, I'll just have to live with the fact you can see my rolls for right now.
You do
Unless-
self roll.
That's what I'm going to try.
That's-
Something different here. Do you guys see
Yeah.
that roll?
Nope.
No.
Oh no, question marks.
So the
Unless you're the Riddler.
the macro is like end arounding the security or the permissions on the
Mhm.
on the chat. Weird. All right, so I can just roll it manually, which I will do, and that means I got a okay. Very good.
Well,
do this.
Aragon, does it only show us the numbered result? Because if you're rolling off a table, it will usually populate the chat with the end result of the summary of what you're rolling.
I did not do that because I was wary that I didn't want you to, in case the permissions weren't set right, you would
I
see
see.
that. So I actually rolled. I found in the compendium a D66 roll and just hit that, basically. All right, so let's do this. As you know, as the evening wears on, the sun actually starts to get low in the sky finally, and sets sometime towards the end of the third quarter. A couple of you are sleeping. One of you is on watch, and Con, I think you're by this time got all the tools and whatnot that you think you're going to need. Should we hand wave the burial, or do you guys want to handle the burial like in the next quarter type of thing? If a two bodies still there,
I don't mind
It's
just
not-
burying them.
I'm sleeping.
It's not important to Garm.
okay. Let's say they're not buried yet, because I don't think we haven't fit that into the narrative yet, and it might be a moment we want to do that. Let's take a 3-minute break if you guys don't mind, and then we'll come back and we'll resolve the dice that I just threw. And Wayne, you can tell me you successfully pushed, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Let's come back in just a few minutes and we'll keep going. Phil, when you do your crafting roll next, if you can manage to get 2 successes, you'll be able to diagnose the repair and fix it in one go.
Gotcha. This will be after, obviously, I'm taking a rest.
After the end of, we're not through the third quarter yet. I'll just say
Oh.
that.
Gotcha. Oh, understood. Understood.
And when Wayne comes back, we'll
Gaia.
zoom ahead. At some point, Sean, I want to unwind the whole should you roll scouting or not if there isn't an encounter, right?
Right.
Remember we had that discussion? I don't think there's a reason not to. I don't think
Yeah, the only thing was that if there's some talents that give you a bonus if there's something to be found, which I guess you could just always roll with it.
right. I guess the other goofy part is that you could ask someone, they could ask you to push when there's nothing to find.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some reasons to do the encounter roll first. I remember that was what we decided when you ran, Sean, to do that roll first. All righty. Wayne's back.
I'm sorry. My dogs woke up when I started moving, and then
You're fine.
I just had to put them to bed because
Put him to bed.
sanity.
Yep. All right. So are we all ready to resume here?
Mhm.
Sun's going down. Moon is rising. So the lake is beautiful as Con is finishing up doing what he's doing down by the water side. Got the tools laid out for work in the morning type of thing. You can get after it right when you need to. We have our orc in the woods asleep because he wants to be out by himself. So that means that Stas, you're the only one who's in. I presume you're in the shed, or not the shed, the structure, the house, right?
Cabin,
So are
yeah.
you in one of the beds or no?
Oh, for sure. Unless somebody was in it, I'm definitely in a bed.
There's no one there. You're in one of the
Yeah.
beds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're
Kick
like,
off my boots and everything.
yeah, you're like sawing wood. Yeah, it's all good. Ascalon, on when you're sort of circling the backside of the cabin towards the south and southeast where the woods are, you see lights moving in the trees. What do you do? They look like lanterns or torches or something, and they're some distance away. They're probably maybe even half a mile away. They're quite a ways away.
Where am I again? I'm sorry. Am I close to the? I'm still next to the shack.
You're near the shack. You're doing one of your, you're doing one of your orbits around it, just making sure that everything's
Okay.
cool. And if you look at the map that we have, the hex map, you're in the south. You're southeast of the shack, and
Okay.
there's some light woods. You can see a couple of little trees there in the lower part of the hex that represent some trees. You see some lights moving through the trees to the southeast. Let's say.
Is that the direction that that Garm went?
Yes, because that's where the trees are. So he's not exactly in that direction. I'll say this: he's more due south. These are a little east of. These are a little east of that. So you don't think it's Garm?
All right, I'm gonna hightail it back to the shed, and I will knock on the door and say, "It's Ascalon." I'm afraid there's lights on, so I don't want to open up the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll knock, like 3 times and just say, "It's Ascalon. There are lights in the woods."
So we did describe, I think, last session that the door is facing the water, so it's on the other side of the cabin.
Oh, sweet. Okay, never mind then. I will. In that case, I'll just go inside.
Still a good idea.
Yeah,
and I also think that as the hour grew late, I suspect that Arda stooped around a little bit with Khan, trying to figure out what he was trying to do, but she didn't have much interest in helping him. So she's probably in the cabin as well. So as Ascalon opens up that door and comes in, Stas and Arda are the ones who are both in there. She looks like she was hardly even asleep. She just looks up at you. She's actually sitting in the corner with her knees kind of up against her like this. Looking, I won't say she's looking shaken, but she's definitely looking like she's not comfortable. Stas, however, is on one of the 2 beds in here, and he's just like.
I think I better go see if I can. Is it so dark that is it like hopeless for me to try to find Garm?
Garm will be hard to find because he said he's going to the woods. But in terms of darkness, it's more like it's the hour after sunset. So think of it as being kind of purpley twilight, pretty gloomy, late dusk. Yep. You could potentially find Garm, but he's not going to be obvious. And Khan is outside. You hear him kind of mucking around down by the water.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Well, as soon as I warn them, I'll go find Khan and tell him and say, "Look, there's lights." I'll point towards the edge of the forest.
Arda comes to the door as you turn away, Ascalon, and talk to Khan. She says, what are you seeing? Who is it?
I don't know who it is. There are lights out in the forest.
Coming this way?
I don't know if you told me that, but they're moving out. They're visible. So
you believe so, Ascalon? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Khan, what do you do when Ascalon gestures at you?
How many lights do you see? Where are they?
South. 2 lights.
2 lights south. Where's my bow and arrow, Harrigan? Would it be on my person? I guess if I'm working, I probably would have perched it up maybe against the work shed. So I immediately go for the bow and arrow and put an arrow, like notch an arrow. And then this kind of spooks. Khan looks spooked, and so he is going to start to sneak up to the house, using it as cover, come up to a corner, and he wants to start looking towards the woods to see if he can make out where these lights are.
Got it. Stas, when you're woken, what do you do? You're, I think, groggy, but you get the idea that there's lights coming.
So I'm awake now.
Yep. Arda will wake you up. If you weren't woken up by Ascalon, Arda would go over and shake your shoulder and say, "Get up! There's someone coming."
I did not get my full rest.
You did not.
What is it? What's 2 lights? Big what? What's going on?
We don't know. What's wrong with you? Someone's coming. We have to be on our guard.
Just
She darts out of the house.
let me sleep. The boys can take care of it. Leave me alone.
Sean, you will get your full rest if you go back to sleep.
Son of a-
If Stats just drifts off again, all good.
I think am I in there?
Nope, you're down by the water with
right.
Con.
That's right. Good.
Letting him know.
All right.
What does Stats do?
Tell them to come and get me if they get stabbed.
Wow. This is a watershed. This is a big character moment here.
Are your eyes closed, Stas?
Oh, for sure. Well, maybe
Yeah.
one open.
Okay.
I want to assess, make sure there's nobody in the cabin or like right outside the cabin ready to stab me. And once I realize there isn't an imminent threat,
So you see the cabin is empty, save Arta, who's standing in the doorway about to dart out, right? But when you say, tell them to come get me if if they really need me type of thing, she's turned back looking towards you, and you can see her jawline just clench as she's looking at you. Muscles in her chin kind of move a little bit, and then she turns back and she slips out the door. You're not sure what that was about, but
appears I made somebody unhappy. She'll get over it.
all right. Stas is going back to bed. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Ascalon, what are you doing as Khan throws himself up against the side of the house? He's fetched his bow. He looks a little shaken. And poking your head around, you see that indeed the lights are probably half again as close. They're closer.
Where did Arta run out? So we're I'm sorry. So Con and I are beside the house. Where did Arta go when she darted out?
I would imagine she'd join you.
Okay.
So if you're to the right of the end of the exit, she just turned right where you guys are, and she's like, "What do you see? Who is it?"
I don't know. Just see two lights. I'm going to say, Con, I think I'm going to go to the diagonal point so I can get another view of these people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if you're at the front, right corner, I'm going to go to the diagonal corner so that we might be able to see them. And I'll pull out. I have a throwing dagger. I will pull that out.
Oh man, I think we
Pull
should
out your. Go ahead, Con.
get away from the house. I was going to head over. And so, Harrigan, are there any trees that are nearby? Like if I'm on the right side of the house peeking around the corner, if I look out that right side, do I see trees maybe or some long grass that I could run out to and duck in?
Throw me a D6.
Okay.
Phil, 4 or 5 or 6. 4 or 5, you got some grass. If you get a 6, there's actually a couple of trees you can get behind.
Why does
1
it
to
say?
20.
It says cannot convert. Why the hell won't it roll? Let me roll a D6. It says cannot convert undefined or null to object. What the hell?
Is that
Remember,
from
there's
the
a-
dice tray, Phil?
Yeah.
Just do it from the die roll, or just
On the
actually you
left?
could click on it and you could flip your left click and hold and drag and let go onto the tabletop
Of
and
the
it'll
die?
roll it.
Just like click and hold the D6 and just drop it onto the.
There's also a simple die roller on the left-hand side menu. There's that one too.
There is also that one, yeah.
This tech. I'm that useless guy. I'm dragging it out and then it doesn't do anything. I don't
I'll
know.
roll for you.
Yeah, do it.
Nope.
I don't care. I'm easy.
Someone did. Who rolled?
Oh shit, that was 3 dice. Oh, it says, oh, that's me now. All of a sudden it's doing it.
Let's use Phil's, and there
Use
are
the
almost
first
all
one?
4s and
There
5s.
was
Yeah,
a
we'll use
lot
the
of
first one.
dice
Yeah.
rolls.
You have to
Dice.
wind up Phil's internet. You have to wind it up.
That's right.
It's still everybody's rolling.
Boom, and then
Phil, put the more rested hamster on the little wheel, okay, before we play.
Yeah, I got a few rolls. Which one do we want to use?
The very first one.
Love it. Okay.
I think it's a 4, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Sean, were you just doing SST like the or Evil Knievel? Remember that toy?
Yeah.
You had to wind it up.
Oh, man.
Either the Evil Knievel crank or the
Yes.
pumps, right? Yeah, the
Yep,
pump
yep.
one, and then you
I
had
still
the
don't think.
Mighty
I still
Mo's.
think-
The Mighty Mo's, you had to like dragged onto the
I
the
still think I
floor.
I had
lost,
Evil Knievel.
a couple of like millimeters of skin off of my knuckles from doing that on the Evil Knievel.
Sorry for the
Uh,
divergence, but did you guys have SSTs like Smash Up Derby with the car and you pulled the ripcord from it? Like
The ripcord.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Ones with the
crazy.
sparks on them
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's set the
we built
scene.
ramps and shit. Oh, sorry, it was anyways.
No, you're good. You're good. Ascalon, as you turn to go to the other corner of the house, Arda
Right.
goes with you. So she's low, she's running along with Ascalon, just as Khan looks out. And Khan, you see some nice tall grass that you could definitely get low on. There's no trees between
Okay,
here
that's
and the
fine.
lights, but there's good grass.
Okay.
Ascalon, as you get to the corner, Arda keeps going. She's running off towards where you guys last saw Garm. So she is like, choom, she's running. Khan, what you
Towards
had a,
farm.
towards
Okay,
at least
all
at least the trees where Garm went to rest, which is more to the south.
Okay, I'll go. When she does it, I'll just say, "Great, Warren Garm."
And Khan, are you advancing to the grass?
Yeah. What do you think, Harrigan? Would that put me within short range of the house or near range? I'd like to be short range, but
I'd say it's some distance away, short range.
beautiful. Okay, so I run out short range to this thing, duck down, bow, arrow, and just watching to see who comes out of the trees with these lights.
So if I'm even following your train of thinking here, it's also not directly in line with the house. It's off to one of the flanks, off to the left, for example.
Yes.
If you're
Yeah.
looking south, it's off to your left, your east.
Yeah. it'd
Okay.
be- yeah. Yes. West.
All right.
It'd be
I would
whatever.
like you,
yes.
since you have to cross some open ground. So I want you to make me a stealth roll.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a couple of extra dice, 2 extra dice, because of the gloom.
Okay. So 2 extra on the stealth. All right.
Yep. Stas is asleep.
I can't believe it. It's
The
unbelievable.
safest place is the cabin. What the hell are they doing floating around in the middle of nowhere?
That's a lot of dice.
Yeah, I've got agility 5, stealth 1.
There you
And
go.
you gave me
Well,
the 2 bonus.
you are in like Flynn. No problem getting to that grass.
Beautiful.
And you and Ascalon both see. So you do have a bit of a different view of things now. Ascalon, you can use the house as cover if you're following. You can kind of come out and go back in type of thing. Khan, you're probably more like crouched down, right? Behind the grass.
Definitely.
But you
I want. So can
Go
I have
for
one
it.
more thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The
No,
one
totally.
reason I was going that way was because I was trying to get away from her. Because what I really wanted to do was get my little bag of salt, which also has the hand in it,
Okay.
in case I have
That's
to
why you
cast
wanted
my
the salt.
spell.
Preserve the spell component.
Hey, again, I believe in recycling. All right, sorry.
Nice. All right. Any last actions or thoughts before I describe the lights getting closer? No. Okay. So Garm, I'm gonna get you in a minute. I realize, Kevin, you haven't done much
No.
lately. So
No, you're good. You're good. Put myself in this situation.
there are 2 figures who are coming out of the woods, and they both are carrying like hooded lanterns. They're not right next to each other, but they're also not way far apart. They're probably 20 feet apart, something like that. And there appears to be a third figure behind them that they are leading. So in other words, there's 3 individuals, humanoids coming. 2 of them are carrying lights. How close are you planning to let them get? They appear to be coming straight for the cabin. How close you willing to let them come before you guys take action?
For me, it'll be dependent on, like, I want to be able to identify who they are.
Mhm.
And if it's a Rust brother, I'm firing an arrow.
Okay.
Like there's no dialogue. I'm starting to shoot.
No dialogue whatsoever.
No, I mean, that's my dark secret, right? I killed a Rust brother to save myself from joining the cult. I'm 22 years old. I mean, I see a Rust brother, I kill a Rust brother. I think that's Khan's mentality. There's no talking with them. There's no trying to, like, I feel like they're coming for me. I'm very paranoid about it.
So
Fair enough.
since I can't communicate with Khan, nor the orc sleeping in the woods, nor the lazy human sleeping in the, on his little pillow. I will. I figure Khan has some plan, or he just seems like a sneaky guy that may take advantage of it. So when they get about, maybe 20, 25 feet from the edge of from the closest edge of the door, and I get a good look at them, I'm going to say something as soon as I can. If I can discern who they are before then, and if I can't, then I will call out to them, and I will just say, like, hello, travelers.
I'll let you amend that, because I think Khan's going to, if Khan sees what he's not hoping to see, he's going to open fire a hell of a lot sooner than that, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, but I can't communicate with him, so that was just my thought.
Help me out, guys. Forbidden Lands is long, medium, short, close, and arm's reach. Are those the ranges?
Long,
is there a medium?
Short. I thought, was it long, short, near, arm's reach? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Yep. There's distant, long, short, near, arm's reach.
Yeah.
So there's no medium.
No medium.
No medium. Yep.
Near and reach. Okay.
So short is a little out there.
Yep.
What page is that on?
It's on page 88.
Remind me to get you a GM screen, Harrigan.
Yeah,
show
no
you,
kidding.
Show you to put that on Foundry.
Oh yeah, I should get one of those, because right now I'm using the book. Here
You
it
can
is.
drag
Short.
journal entries right into it. It's pretty
Short
pretty,
is up to 20. Okay, so up to 75 feet, basically.
Yeah. It's a ways.
Got it. Okay. So with Stas asleep, I would like Garm to make me a survival roll. See, while you're rolling that, Khan, you can tell these are Rust Brothers. There's a jingle of chains, something metallic. The two guys out front, you would say, are the brothers themselves. So they're nice roll. They're Garm.
Balls. Sorry.
Push. Push.
Can I push that?
You can push it. It's a skill roll.
It is. It'll be a short combat, because that's all three of my wits.
So I better not push then.
No.
Got it. All right, Garm stays asleep. Khan, the figure behind them, though, looks, the shadow looks more heavily armored than your typical Rust Brother.
Oh, really?
So the two out front look like priests or clerics, the brothers who spread the word and all that sort of stuff. And the one in behind might be a knight.
Oh, that's not good.
Which you are aware of. These are like the heavy hitters.
Yeah, that's
with
not good.
they're no fun.
Okay, then no, the move changes. I mean, if they're not just robed dudes, but you got the dude in like a tank, I'm in full stealth mode. Like I'm like the rabbit in bushes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am just I am freezing.
All right. So they cross about 75 feet. They cross from long to short range. And they're probably a little further from you, Ascalon, just because of the angle they're coming in at, but about the same. So what did you want to do when they got to a certain distance? And you can also tell, I would imagine Ascalon's been around the corner enough to know these are Rust Brothers that are coming.
Boy.
As you're thinking, you both hear, I'm not gonna torch you, don't worry, but you both hear like a tink, 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 and these lanterns kind of slide down the chain, and both of the brothers start swinging them, and they're like these fire-lit sensors that are going around. The two of them are spinning them as they come closer. And you can start to hear a bit of a chant on the wind, a bit of a low chant as they're coming closer.
Okay, so at the corner of the house I'm on,
Yep.
Is there a window to the inside?
I'm going to say no. I think we described a window last time. I think the only window is on the wall opposite of the door. So the window, if Stas were to get up, he could open the window and look upon this scene. He could do
Okay.
that.
All right.
Of course, he's not doing that.
All right. This is
Garm
this
also
is
not doing
perfect. This is a perfect example of adventuring party that has never coordinated themselves before.
It is. It's great.
Okay, so I just remember, oh man, I think I remember Khan saying something about the Rust Brothers, how much he hated them when we came here.
I'm sure.
Um, and so I see these two guys swinging this, and I see a bigger figure behind who probably I'm guessing is the leader of this group, because bringing up the
Yes. In fact, I misspoke before. The one behind is actually on horseback as well.
oh shit.
Phil's like, what the? Didn't tell me that before. Two out front, but they're traveling at a walking
I have a
pace.
feeling I'm going to be making up a new character, but I'm just going to go for this. I will grip the hand, and I am going to cast the Hand of Doom upon the leader.
The guy behind?
Yeah.
Can you do that at this range?
Okay, so I'd spend one will, right, to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct, guys? I'm never cast a spell in this game, so
It's all right.
Okay.
Take it slow.
Right. At least one will. You can spend each will you spend can increase the power
Gives you
and how
gives
many
you-
dice you roll.
That's right.
all right. And
Gives you
what is-
another
and-
die.
and I have the ingredient, which is a severed hand.
So
What's the distance?
Think about it. We'll get to a distance. Think about it this way, Wayne. You have to
Right.
spend one willpower just to cast the spell. That
Right.
gives you one power point, which will determine how effective the spell is. And it means
Right.
you have to throw one die, which gives you a chance of rolling a 6 and getting another power point, or getting a 1 and getting a mishap. So
Okay,
if you spend more willpower, you roll more dice. So you get
All right,
higher chances to go high or low.
Okay,
The
and what is
ingredient
what is the
adds-
ingredient?
Adds
Plus
a
one
power
power.
level as well without adding a die.
All right, so I will spend. I'm going to spend a total of 3 which means my 2 willpower points that I've got, and I have the severed hand, which means that the range, which is normally near, is now going to be short, which means they're in range.
Say that one more time. I'm looking for the spell right now.
It's the range is normally near,
Yep.
but in the spell description, if I spend another willpower,
Extends
I
at
can-
one's range. One range.
it extends the range to short, which is
Got it.
Which means they will be in range.
So tell me how many will you're spending total?
Well, okay, I'm spending 3. I'm spending 2, and then I'm going to use the ingredient to extend the range. How's that?
Well,
Does
and then
that
you
make
need to spend
sense?
you need to spend one more willpower. No, I got you. So you're spending 1 point to cast a spell, plus the hand gives you a power of 2, and you're spending a second willpower point to change the range, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so you're spending
Uh-huh.
2 will, and
Uh-huh.
you're consuming your ingredients. So you'll have to describe how that's happening. But the point is, you're only going to roll 1 die, right?
Oh, okay.
You're only going to roll. Correct, Kevin? You're the other person who's cast spells in this. He's going to roll 1
I think
die
so.
here.
Yeah, I think unless. All right, backing up, I was laughing. So,
I think we got it.
yeah, I think so. Like, are you spending 2 willpower points total?
Total.
Okay, yeah, it would be one die from what I understand. Yep.
Yep. So don't throw it yet, because I want to set the scene as you kind of step out,
All right.
And that sort of thing. So Khan is laying low, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So I would say,
So-
Khan, you're probably more like 50 feet from them by the time they get to be 75 feet, 25 meters from Ascalon.
So still kind of long range.
No, you're still short range.
Short range.
Short range. Got it.
You're still short range,
Gotcha.
but you're closer to them than
Yes.
Ascalon is, right? Because
Yes.
he's by the house.
Gotcha.
All right. So Ascalon, describe how you step out and cast your spell, how the component figures into it, and what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to hurt this guy because I like I said, I just figured that it was going to be on, and And
It is
also,
now.
I thought, I thought they're going to burn down this place and kill what's his name. So that and kill Stas. So I what?
I just laughed.
Okay.
Keep going.
So he steps out. I'm not. I mean, I don't know how showy this has to be, but he steps out. He pulls out the hand, and he starts to enchant the spell, and the hand the flesh falls away in ash, and then it becomes kind of spectral, and it flies towards the heart of the dude on the horse.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
And in terms of flashy, I just want you to describe what you see your magic looking like. It can be as subtle or as flashy as you like, but I love it. All right. So I think all he does is roll a d6, right?
Yep. He's already
And
at
then get
power
ready-
level 2.
Right.
Yep. And roll a d6 and make it better or worse.
I should bring some other actors on the stage here.
Hey, it's a power level 2. Nothing
Okay.
crazy happens.
No, nothing crazy. Well done, Wayne.
Nothing more crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So what Hand of Doom does is it inflicts a damage equal to strength equal to the power level. So the power level is 2, right?
Yep. Say again.
Yeah, that's it.
So
And
it's going to
basically
be,
it starts squeezing the life from him.
so it's 2 damage to their strength. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just getting them on the map here. It's actually not the one that I want.
Good work, Wayne.
Yeah.
Well, at least with this character, I cast 1 spell successfully.
And you live.
So far.
Maybe.
And you
Idiot.
lived. All right. So,
So far.
you guys can, hopefully you can picture it in this gloomy twilight spectral light, this hand flying between the 2 spinning flaming sensors, right? To the dark figure that's on, and the horse, you can tell, especially Con, you can get a good view of it. The horse is this black and gray steed. Just, it's a massive war horse that could, ride you down in a moment. And you also, having a look at the horse a little more carefully, there's something funky about the horse's, like its face. When it's kind of neighing and kind of chuffing at the air, you see fangs where the horse would normally have just regular horse lips and teeth. And its eyes look a little weird as well, kind of a glinty red almost for its eyes. But then you also see this hand coming, and it strikes that knight full on in the chest. And he reels back on his horse. I should probably have him make an agility check now that I think about it. Or actually animal handling. Let's do that.
I don't think anyone would object here again if he fails, falls off his horse, and then gets stomped in the head by the horse's hooves. I think we'd all be down for that play on your part.
Yeah, it'd be too bad, really.
Can you guys see that roll or no?
One
Just
fail.
I see the one skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, can you see the other result?
No, it's just a question mark.
Oh, really? That's so weird. So inconsistent. The horse rears. You can hear the guy like, oh, as this thing hits him. The horse rears up, dumps him off the back. He lands in just a big clanging heap on the ground. And you're familiar, Con, with the Rust Brothers armor is not in good repair, right? They purposefully keep it so that it's rusty and full of tetanus, and it's just the chains that are hanging off this guy. So it's not like he's wearing gleaming plate mail. This guy is like a walking tank of armor that's like 50 years old and hasn't been looked after. So he lands in just a clattering pile behind his horse, which then kind of takes off about 20 feet, and then the horse is disciplined. It stops and turns to look back towards its rider. The other 2 priests both kind of keep whipping those things, and they've all started advancing quickly towards where Ascalon is now, probably ducking back behind the house. Right.
All right.
And I think we now officially have to do an initiative for the first time.
Ow.
And draw cards and all that stuff.
Do we?
Go ahead, Wayne.
No. Go ahead. You do it. You go ahead.
I was going to ask, would con be considered, like, would this be a surprise potentially for him to attack? Because I think I might be able to draw 2 initiative cards if it is.
And it's 100% because they have no idea where you are. You're off kind of
Okay.
to their right at this stage. They haven't fully bypassed you. You're not shooting them in the back, but they have passed your position or are in the middle of passing your position.
I don't know.
And
Cool. Thanks, Eric.
forgive me because I have not even tried the initiative of this yet.
Where do we go for
Yeah,
that?
I think you have to put
combat
our
Okay.
tokens out.
All right. Yeah. So all
Okay,
the
I can do that.
players, if the players go to the compendium, which is the second to the last icon on the right, you can open up where it says core game macros, and you can drag draw initiative down to that toolbar. Do any of those words made sense?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll get your tokens out there in just a second.
Right.
Or will I?
You also may want to drag D66. I'm trying to think what else we might need.
That's interesting.
Oh,
I
from
think
the
I'll drag out
macros.
magic mishaps.
Sounds like
Yeah,
a good idea. I can't imagine
have-
why.
I have that on Kasha's sheet.
Okay.
No surprise. No surprise there. I'm just resizing your tokens here. Forgive me for not doing this in advance.
Oh, don't worry about it, man.
No worries.
Yeah.
And Stas, because I'm sure we're going to need Stas's here in a minute. Stas can try to stay asleep all he wants to.
He better get his ass out of bed and rip those boots on and get the tour sorted here. This is what's going on here.
I thought there were like 2 guys. You guys go wandering off in the woods instead of holding yourself up in the cabin. I didn't think of anything was serious.
Okay.
Could have
so
been
the
2 deer out there.
The four-
Two sets of eyes. Ooh.
the 4 of you are on there. I think I have to select you all and then start a combat. Is that right?
Correct.
So I'm getting everybody picked.
If you select us all and you right click on somebody, there's a little shield combat thing, which will dump us all in there.
And I think it just did.
Yep.
And what do the dice mean? Will that pull a card? It says roll initiative.
Oh,
That's
that's
interesting.
that will roll the initiative. We want to use the draw initiative macro.
So I need the same macro, don't I?
What's good again? Do you want a low card or a high card?
Low.
You want
Okay.
it's in order, so 1 goes before 10.
Gotcha.
Macro.
Oh, nice
Core
picture
game
again.
macros.
Yeah.
Draw initiative.
Good old Google search.
Yeah, man.
So I have to be on the token when I draw. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know where I am.
Not enough cards left. Shuffling the deck. Who took all the cards?
Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in initiative. And if there was any drawn
Yep.
prior, then you pretty much run out of cards.
Gotcha. So Art has got hers. Draw 1. Draw 1. And draw
We
1.
should probably change our token names because then
I would
come up
love
with-
if you would do that.
Yeah, let's see if I could do that.
Um,
Prototype token, isn't it, Wayne?
yeah. Hmm.
And then I have to press begin combat. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the rights to.
How did 2 of them get
Change.
3? And 2 of them got 8?
That doesn't make any damn sense to me either.
Probably the reshuffling is my guess.
That doesn't seem to make much sense. So what happens if Okay, you guys can decide. And then tell you what, for this round only, we'll have the Rust brother that's an 8 will go before Stas, Sean, just because you're asleep.
That's fine.
We'll see if there's enough racket to wake you up. And then the guard is on 4. Okay, so this all boils down to Garm going first, who's asleep, right? Do we have everything we need in terms of the initiative tracker, or do I need to hit begin combat now? I'm going to try
I
begin
think
combat.
you're good.
There we go.
Yeah, you
Yep,
should be
so
good.
I think all I have to do now is I can use the arrows to like shuffle through whose turn it is type of thing.
Nice.
Arms up.
All right. So, Garm, you hear, wake up, wake up. Your friends need you. So I'm going to take away your slow turn for
Okay.
waking up, but you can still do your fast turn. And there's a shadow kneeling nearby behind a tree. And you would say from the voice, it's Arta. And she's pointing back towards the house. And from your vantage point, so you guys are, if let's say you're the knight riding in, right? If you're from the knight's
Mhm.
perspective, you just passed Khan on the right.
Mhm.
The cabin is ahead. And to your left are some trees where Garm is.
Gotcha.
So Garm, you're off that way, off to his left. So you see these two priests who are now sort of loping along, winding these big censer flail things, and you see a mount kind of cantering around, and a knight who's like already trying to get up off the ground. What do you do for your fast action?
It's not called move. What is it called? Just trying to use this little cheat sheet I have from Sean's game. Does standing up require movement?
That's a good question. I think it does.
Declare action.
I think probably a fast move. I need to get the quick reference in here like Sean had. That's what I need to do. Because I don't have it handy. Anybody want to confirm those actions?
Flee, retreat, run, fast action. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stand up.
I'll tell you what, if you wanted to draw something, is that a fast action as well, drawing a weapon?
Yeah.
Or is that?
Yep.
You can combine those if you wanted to draw something as well.
Yep, I'll stand up and draw my sword.
Okay. And I'm going to say you are long range from these guys.
Okay.
So you're probably more like 50 meters, 150 feet, something like that. You're a good distance away. All right. So back to our initiative tracker. One of the Rust brothers is going to, let's see, short range will then close to near. So Ascalon, he's coming right for you, right? And that's this guy right here. I'm not going to bother moving the tokens around. Just wanted them on the map so that we could talk about them. So one of the Rust brothers is coming towards you, swinging that sensor around. You can see that he has like an iron mask over his face, so you can't see his face and his features, which is not unusual for some of the Rust brothers. So he's got his face covered, and he's coming right after you. But he needs to get basically he needs to use his whole movement. He's going to move fast twice to get right up to you, and that completes his movement. So you've got a Rust brother basically charging right at you, and then let me move these. Ascalon, it's actually your turn now. So you've got somebody pretty much in your face, as you can duck back behind if you want to.
Yeah, I'm going to duck back behind, and I will be screaming, "Stas, get up!" as loud as I can. Okay, so that would be okay. So just make sure I got this right. So
You can always talk, but what do you want to do for your fast and your slow action, or your two fast actions?
I am going to Okay, so is he at arm's length? Can I actually run? Or
If you
Do I?
yes,
okay, he is at arm's length. So
he
really
is closing right into arm's length. If you turn around and move, he will no longer be at arm's length.
okay. I'm going to then as my fast. I'll do a fast action to run, to move away from him and around the house, shouting for him, and then I will ready my little throwing dagger. That's my other action.
Okay, so if he were to
Okay.
come around behind you, you'd have it in hand.
I'd have it out.
Okay, so you run around the back of the house near the doorway that I think Arta left open. And
Mhm.
Stats, when we get to you, you're already like, "Whoa, what? I guess I'm not going to get to sleep after all," because he's calling out to you. Con.
All
What's
right.
Khan
So
doing?
the one that's probably closest to Khan, I don't know that necessarily matters left or right. Harrigan, is either of them within short range?
All three of them are within short range, and you are now faced with a knight on the ground,
Yeah.
his mount,
Yeah.
the
no, I don't want to
priest,
shoot them, those two.
the
I'm
priest
going
who hasn't taken off, who's closer
Yeah.
to you than the priest who is bolted already for the cabin. Right.
Gotcha. So the one, not the one who's bolting to the cabin, Stad's gonna have to deal with that on his own, lazy bugger. I'm gonna take the other one that's still standing there. And short range, so I gotta take a -1 modifier. For my fast action, because I had my weapon ready. So for my fast action, can I aim? And then for my slow action, fire?
Yeah, because I think you could have had the arrow readied. Right.
Cool. Yeah, that's what, okay.
Yep.
Awesome, Harrigan. So that means that'll nullify then the short range penalty. So I'm
Okay.
just rolling straight up.
Hola, hola.
Love it. Loving life. Okay. That's my turn.
So one of these rust. What was the damage?
2.
Okay, give me a second because he's got some armor. I think.
I think that's what it says, right? Is that correct? I got 2 successes. Yes.
What's the damage of the bow? Probably a 1.
Yeah,
right?
it's just 1. Yeah,
So
that's
it'll be
right.
2 damage.
Yeah, it's right.
And so the priest is unarmored.
Beautiful.
So you actually, his fellow takes off running, right? This guy's a little more sort of wary, but the arrow just right into his back. So the flail kind of warbles and hits the ground. He lets go of it, and he's kind of trying to reach back for the arrow in the middle of his back. It's gotten him quite good. He's not down, but he's definitely quite injured. A good shot. And then we have the Iron Guard.
Oh,
So this is the knight who stands and looks around where this arrow just came from. I'd like you to go ahead and throw stealth for me. See if you can duck back down in time before this guy makes you. You can push it if you want to. Hurt your agility.
no.
Okay. All right. So before you're able to get back under the grass, the knight's up on one knee and is just, you see this, he has this big, massive iron helmet with lots of like jagged edges that are sort of symmetrical, almost like dragon's talons. And you just see his head like turn and look towards you. He stands up the rest of the way and just points at you like this. And it's like, you will pay for this. You will all pay. He starts coming towards you and he reaches to his back and there's this just this big sword comes out. So he's using a move to come closer. So he's closed the range to you to near and he's now armed himself. And you've got a knight coming right for you, Con. And you're like, oh God. Yeah, it's just what you wanted. Garm.
Are you up on your tetanus shot? Sorry.
That's right. Garm in the woods where you've just risen. Arta beside you darts off into the darkness. So it's like she's not waiting here.
Mm-hmm.
She darts a certain distance and then she takes a knee and she's aiming something. You're not sure what she's aiming because it's kind of dark and you're not paying full attention to her, but she's got a bow or something.
I just saw that dude draw a huge sword that drew a lot of attention
You did.
along with it.
Heard it, saw it. Absolutely. And then the other Rust brother, I'm going to say the one. So this is the one with the arrow in his back. He's going to turn and look for Khan as well, but he sees the knight approaching him. He retrieves his flail censer off the ground, and he limps off towards the house. So he's only going to be kind of halfway there because he has to use one of his moves to pick up his weapon. So we got one of them that's at the cabin, has just chased Ascalon around the corner, right? We have one of them who has come part way towards the cabin. We have the Iron Guard Knight who's about to go after Khan. And I think we have to draw initiative. Oh, no, we don't. We have Stas. We've finally gotten to Stas. So you've woken up. You only have your fast action remaining because it took you a slow action to kind of come to. So what does Stas do, Sean?
What's going on? Saw the ruckus. Grab my hand axe.
There is ruckus. You can start to hear, men shouting and that kind of thing. So you know these sounds. These are not good sounds.
Ah, shit. I'm mad because I got woken up and these guys couldn't handle whatever's out there. So I grab my hand axe and start gaining my composure.
All right. So you've armed yourself and you're on your feet, basically, inside the
Indeed.
cabin.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I think I can just do another round, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Reset initiative. There we go. Let's try this. Hopefully we won't run out of cards.
Man. Wait
Phil,
until
you
you should try advanced combat, Harrigan.
Oh God.
Advanced combat was one of the first things that put me off of this game when I first read it. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing any of that. And then I
Really?
realized, oh, it's totally optional.
Yeah.
It's junk. I think.
Says I got no cards to draw from, Harrigan.
It's a reshuffle macro.
Oh, is there a macro for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So can
Yes,
someone
yes,
reshuffle the
yes.
cards? Because I don't have that handy.
I don't know if anybody can.
How did it pull last time? I'll get it.
There's a reset initiative deck.
I'll go get it from the compendium here. Macro, core game macros, draw initiative, reset initiative deck. You don't think that's going to give us the same problem? It probably will. But I'm going to hit it.
I don't know.
So I reset the deck. Go ahead, Phil.
I just did.
Yep.
You got a one.
It allowed him to draw one.
There must be, what are we missing? There must be something because we don't have more than 10.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Right.
going on.
What if you reset it now or Oh, yeah. Can you reset the combat round and have us, and then reset the deck and then have us all draw?
Do you really want to do that?
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Well, I do because I threw a 10.
I
Gar
see your
does.
cards.
Yes, I think that's the only thing we can do.
I see your cards. Oh, and I've got one
Hey.
more Rust brother that has to draw. Who's that? This guy. Let me draw as well, and then we'll figure this out.
no, not that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah,
In
who's
the
that guy?
initiative tracker, if you click the token, it selects, like if you're in the initiative tracker and select it, it'll select the right token.
Gotcha. So this shouldn't matter too much because, yeah, that's how I found him, Sean. I
Oh, okay.
selected him in the tracker and it showed me who it was.
Got it.
Let's let Khan go first. You guys are the PCs, so you got the one. So Khan, you are faced near distance with this towering.
All right. Well, I'm gonna desperation play here. He's near. I aim. I fire. I'm like trying to put it right in that helmet hole.
Oh wow, taking a shot with the bow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's near. So if I aim, oh no, I guess I got it ready. So no, I got a ready action, the bow. So that's my fast action.
You don't
And
get
then
to
I
aim,
fire.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not aiming. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, here we go. Oh, I want to throw up. Oh, 1 second. Combat. Oh,
I see A6.
Two. all right. 1 second. though.
Okay.
I might want to push that. Yeah. And you can push in combat, right? To try to do more damage.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got. Yeah, I got to do this.
So it was
this
set-
is des-
Yeah, it would set aside your successes and your failure, and you got one
Yeah.
more failure.
Shit.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That's not
So
the
damage-
move. That's not
damage
that's
to your
not what I
agility.
wanted. Yeah. Oh, 2 of them too. God, I want to puke now because there goes my bow. That's like my primary weapon.
Did you damage it?
No, I don't know if I damaged. I did damage the bow 1. Yes,
No, you
By the
didn't.
look
Oh
of it.
no, man.
I think I did.
No.
He did.
No. Oh,
You
my
didn't.
bad.
No.
My bad.
No,
Sorry.
the-
Apologies.
The bow.
I took-
the
I
bow's
took
got
two
a
agili-
6 and a 2.
I took
That's
2
a lot of-
agility damage, which is still
a lot of
shooting the
dice.
bow, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you describe shooting him in the helm. He's got
Yes.
4 armor dice on this helm. Let's see what happens.
Oh God.
Jeez. Suck.
We
I
can't
didn't
see
see
those,
them.
by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So no successes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that he turns his head at the last minute, but the arrow goes into the visor. And this is not like a little narrow visor. This is the kind of thing that's open, kind of, there's
Yeah.
lots of places to fit. So you stick an arrow in his helm, like off the side of his scalp, kind of like, really get him pretty good, actually. That was 2 damage. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, he's taking 4, I guess now. That's awesome.
Yes.
In fact, there's sparks that fly. There's blood as you let go, and he staggers back. And you think for a minute, holy, is he going to fall? He takes another stagger step back. And then he goes, and then just straightens up. And it's just like, now you die. And he comes forward.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
So Khan's standing there with his bow, like,
Yeah. It's game over.
Garm, that's pre-tenderized for you, dude.
Yeah.
yep.
Love to get there. I'll see you at the end of the round.
Yeah. No, I know. It's game. This could be game over for Con. I might be
yes, this
playing
could be a
Arta.
long round.
Are you cool if I take over Arta here again or what?
That's why she's here.
Yeah, love it. Here we go.
All right. So Ascalon and Stas at the back of the building. I think the next Rush Brother to go is. I'm lying. It's the Rush Brother out near the
There's 2
building.
more Rust bows before us.
Yeah, it's the one that's out near the building.
All right.
So what I'm going to have him do? Just 1 second here. All right, he's going to move. So he's going to continue. He's going to go the other way around the house. If I can actually get his token to move. There we go. I should move these so they're at least in some semblance of order here. 1 sec. A little bit finicky, not too bad. All right, so the Rust Brother with the arrow in his back staggers off to the right side of the house, which is the opposite side that Ascalon was on. So he appears to be going the other way. And he's no longer swinging that flail because he's kind of walking with a little bit of a hitch in his
Still got
get
an arrow
along
in him, right.
from the arrow sticking out of his back. Exactly. And when he gets to the corner, he says, "Throw down your arms. Offer up your sacrifices to Rust, to the Iron God. Offer him up." So you guys can hear him coming from the other side.
Oh boy.
And now
Okay.
and whoever said it is right. Both Rust Brothers go before. So now we have the one who was going after Ascalon. Ascalon, you see him coming around the corner, and he's got that flail, that flaming flail. Ching, ching, you can hear him coming. And he looks at you. It's just like, it's time. You're going to meet your end. It's time. He does not know that Stas is in the house.
Right.
So he's walking, and he moves. And then he's going to take a swing at you, basically. Stas, you see this kind of flurry of this iron, this Rust priest, this Rust brother, come kind of flashing past the doorway with this thing swinging, going right after, you presume, Ascalon, whose voice it was that you heard.
So I have to declare dodge before he attacks, correct?
Yep. So it's a swing weapon. So you can use one of your actions if you want to parry or dodge.
I can't parry with my dagger, so I will dodge.
Okay, so you're willing to wind up prone, right?
Yes. because I
Unless you
I
want to
have
take a
no
-2
armor.
penalty.
say what now?
You can take a -2 penalty, I think, and remain standing.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
That's not the
I'm
point.
gonna suck some. I'm gonna suck some dirt.
All right. All right. So you are going to be struck unless you can dodge. So he's coming right at you with this thing.
All right. Well, we'll see. Only got 3 dice.
Roll it up.
Ooh,
Look
I got
at
one.
Look at you. All right. So you dodge this thing, and you can see that the flail head of this thing actually has a bunch of ridges and knobs, and the thing is like red hot from the coals that are in it. So it not only would it have like crushed your bones, it would have burned you pretty badly as well. So it just swings right over your little elven head, but you end up stumbling and falling back as well. So you're going to be on the ground in front of this guy.
Okie dokie.
And it's actually your move next. So what does Ascalon do? You're at the mercy of this Rust brother.
All right. So the
And
dodge is
actually, Wayne, one last piece of narrative. He looks down at you and he's like, "An elf, praise Rust." You're making
okay.
his night.
All right.
What are you doing,
So
Ascalon?
I have
You
a
have
slow
action?
Okay, so I got my dagger in my hand.
You do.
Is there a negative from throwing prone?
I could assign one if I wanted to be mean. I don't think so.
What the fuck? I'm just going. Sorry. I will. Sorry, there. If you're actually going to broadcast that.
Way to go,
I-
Wayne.
Beep. 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 Okay.
That's right.
We've been clean all session. Now you
Clean.
All right. So I will just say, this elf has something for you. And I will
dagger.
throw my dagger at him.
All right. He has no dodge or anything left because he used both of his actions. Look at you.
Oh my god! I
Okay.
don't believe it.
So it's a good hit.
3
Elf is dangerous.
3 points of damage.
Did you roll 3 6s? Look at you.
I rolled 3 6s.
Let me go to the roller for a second. That's impressive.
That's
Well done.
yeah.
not only is it
that-
impressive, so he swings and misses with this flaming flail, but then when he sees you're an elf and he's like, "Praise, yes," and then the pommel and the hilt of the dagger just appears in his Adam's apple, and he's blood pours from his mouth. He falls to his knees, and the censer hits the dirt, boom, 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 flaming, and he just pitches forward and drives the knife the rest of the way through his throat.
Nice.
It comes out of
Nice.
the back of his neck. He gurgles and expires. He's dead. One
Awesome.
throw.
I'll say you have beautiful hands.
Jeez. That's awful. I'm detecting a horrible behavior that will continue throughout the game here. Oh my.
Now you all made fun of me when my character wanted to find clay and chalk.
No kidding.
And yes, now I know.
All right. I think we're moving to the Iron Guard. Is that right, Con? You're right there, Con? And I
Let's get it
think
over
you
with.
already attacked this round, and did you use both of your actions?
Oh, of course.
Okay, just checking.
That's why I asked if Arcto was available.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so let me bring up his combat stats here. That blade is in the air. He recovers from the arrow, which is still sticking out of his helmet, sort of on the side of his head. And he just says, "Know that it is Garvon who put you in the ground this day, boy." And he comes forward with his sword, which I'm going to roll, and you're probably not going to enjoy. I always forget to...
That's enough. Do it. 2's all it took.
he misses.
Oh, I saw the
Whoa.
2 skulls. I got all like, oh, the skulls.
No, the skulls are
the.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the permissions about you guys seeing the skulls, but not the other ones. It's 0 successes and
That
2
is
skulls.
really weird, man.
So
It's so we can count all the failure that we all
That's-
have.
that's right. There you go.
Arrow in the helmet threw off his vision.
Yeah, clearly there's blood in his eyes. It's coming down his face, and that sword whistles, and it comes relatively near you, and you can tell this is like a head-taking, limb-taking kind of sword. It just misses you as you kind of dance back a little bit. He overextends a little bit. You can tell he's like a little unsteady on his feet. The man's not doing well, but he, resets, and you can tell that he's not ready to give up just yet. Arta. See what Arta does. Give me 1 second. Boy, poor Garm and Stas waking up's hard. You guys are at the back of the initiative. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that happened.
Here's a whole bunch
Whoa.
of dice. And yeah. All right. So Con, as you're fighting amidst this high grass now, right? Because that's your hiding spot, and the knight's basically wading into that. You hear something in the night sky whistle past his head. A sling stone or a crossbow bolt or something. You didn't even catch sight of it because you're too focused on the knight, but something has just missed him. Not sure where it came from. Stas. What are you doing, Stas?
So the guy that flew by me, he's gone.
He's face down, bleeding out.
And do I see anybody else?
Do you go outside? You're still in the house. If you use your fast move action to go outside, the answer is maybe.
Yes. Move fastly outside.
There you go. Move fastly. So as you step out, to your right is Ascalon on the ground and doing kind of a "yeah, bitch" kind of thing to the guy's face down. But
The classy
behind,
elf version.
that's right, behind him at the other end of the building, you can see the edge of like this flaming thing start to whirl around, and you can hear. Remember, the guy is calling like, "Sacrifice yourselves!" That's the guy on the other end of the building. So you can tell there's another dude, another Rust brother behind Ascalon, coming the other way, like they were doing a pincer movement. So this one's dead, and this one's still alive. What do you do?
Oh, I have my hand axe in hand, and I
You do.
made one fast action, so I don't think
Yep.
I can get there. And
You could move to the edge of the building, but that would put you in harm's way, certainly. It would depend on your initiative card next time.
I can't get worse anymore, can I? Like I've been in like 9 and 10 last
tell
two
you-
times.
I'll tell you what I would let you do. If you want to use your action to help Ascalon up, you could do that. Otherwise, he has to burn an action to get up next turn.
That's fine. That's what I'll do. Get up. Jesus. Yeah. What are you doing?
Extend a hand,
Yeah.
pull him up.
I,
Ascalon, you
I killed that fellow with a knife.
Great. Wonderful. We'll talk about it later.
That was quite remarkable.
I'm sure. I'm a little perturbed. I got woken up. Now, can we finish this so I can get some sleep?
Yeah. Take it out on that dude.
All right, we're doing another round.
All right.
So I think I need to reset. There we go.
Can I go first?
Oh,
Cool.
let the Garm go.
Oh, I'm so sorry, man.
It's all right.
Answer's no. Answer's no. No, you're too far away.
Oh, okay.
Uh, no, my bad. I completely forgot about the orc in the woods. So you see better that Arta has moved ahead and she's just fired. And from the sounds of it, she fired a crossbow. You heard it.
Ooh,
So what do you
good
do,
choice.
Garm?
Garm's gonna shout out loud. He
Oh, boy.
shouts,
Shout it. Shout it. Shout it out loud.
"Hey, you degenerates! Eames a whore, and Rust is her awful git." And then he's going to how far away am I from the night guy?
I think we described you at long distance.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my fax action to move to short.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna trade my slow action for another fast action to move near, and I'm gonna charge towards him.
Got it. So you're closing the distance big time with him.
Yep. And I got my sword raised.
Nice. All right, so our orc is just barreling across the open field here behind the cabin. Con, you can see this behind the knight, and you hear him call out, "Himzor!" And here comes the orc. All right, so I think we need to draw initiative. Was that right? Apologies, Kevin, for forgetting
you're
about
good.
our
That
giant
happens.
orc.
That happens.
Apparently, it does. I'm actually drawing fewer cards this time.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Which one?
I hit the reset, but I don't know if it does anything if I do it.
Looks okay so far.
Why is my it didn't pull a card for me? It pulled a card for me. But it didn't consider that. You should put me at a 6. I drew a card, but I don't know why in the tracker it didn't put it in there. Harrigan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe because I have the. Oh, I know it. Can you?
I can give you a 6.
Can you remove the rogues and raiders and give me a 6?
Oh, look at that.
I had the wrong token selected. My apologies.
Oh,
So you can remove that from the initiative altogether.
Yeah, I
think
just got
if
to
you-
figure out how to do that.
Just
Give me a
right
second.
click.
I just got to select it. It's behind some stuff. Stand by.
Note
Okay.
to self. Make
It's
sure
out
my
now, right?
My yeah.
Yes.
got
that
it
looks
too. I gotta
good.
put it
Thank
on
you.
there.
How does it look? Initiative.
This looks like
Let's see.
crap because I'm still
Come on.
down in the bottom half again, but that's okay.
But the Iron Guard doesn't go until now. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
At the
he's-
All right,
very
Con.
end. It's beautiful. Right at the
All
very
right.
end.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
he's staggering.
Justice.
He's staggering.
Yes. Con, if we'll take a fast action and
Yep.
basically draw his dagger.
Yep.
And then my slow action is to try to stab this big rusty bastard right in the face.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
He will try to parry.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay. that's fine. Use up your actions, big guy.
Mhm. What you got?
Just the one.
Okay. So a parry is just a melee attack with your weapon, right? You count the weapon too? I think you do.
some of them have negatives to parry depending on what the weapon is.
If the if you look on the actions under the weapon, if there's a negative, it'll say parry -2. If you click that, it'll actually figure that into the roll.
Oh. Oh, there's actually a parry button. How about that?
Yes.
Yep.
So before I roll it, let me see if I can make these rolls visible. So you guys can see that I'm not cheating.
Public roll, please.
Yeah, it's public.
Mhm.
All right, longsword, parry. How many dice did you get? How many successes? One.
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
That's fine.
You are
Yeah, whatever.
thrust aside, boy. Just
That's
about shoved
okay.
to the ground.
That's okay. That's a fast action taken up. You go, you do that. That's cool.
Your dagger comes within
Yeah.
inches of his helmet, but it stops. Sparks fly as he sweeps his blade, catches yours, forces you back. And we have Ascalon, who had just been helped to his feet.
All right. So the guy with the swinging thing isn't visible yet, right? He's still coming around the
You
corner.
can tell he's about to be. He's moving in your direction, basically calling out to all occupants, lay down your arms.
Okay.
It's
Well-
the rust has come.
All right. Well, I will ready my throwing dagger by pulling it out of the throat of the guy on the ground.
It takes an action for sure.
Yes, that's okay. So that's a fast action.
Yeah.
I can't throw at him because he's not visible, right? So I will.
I don't think this game has a wait action, does it?
Yeah, no, I don't think it does. I guess that's it. I will. I don't know what else I could do.
In Forbidden Lands, is it like other Free League games where if you can talk, you can switch initiative orders?
Yes.
So you could do some of that.
Who would I switch with? Maybe Well, Stas
Only
is next to
Stas.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I will. Well, I'm not a complete idiot. I will move behind Stas.
Remember as well, I will say this: if the guy comes around
Right.
the corner, if you hold your fast action, you can use it to defend as well, right?
Oh, true.
So there's a
Yeah,
reason to keep that action
Yeah, you're right.
in the
You're right.
in the situation where you can't see the person yet and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. That's right. So I will just hold my other fast action.
Hang on to it. Okay.
Right.
All right. Arta, a crossbow has a slow reload, so she reloads.
Okay.
And we're going to do the Russ brother. Here he comes around the corner. I am correct. I'm not missing anybody. I don't
That's
think.
correct.
Yeah. Next. Sorry. Stas, Russ brother. Okay, here he is. All right, so he uses his fast action to come around the corner. And when he sees two of you there and his brother on the ground, he looks down. You can see there's a little bit of a droop in that swinging thing where it's kind of like starts to swing a little less. And he's just like, "What have you done? Russ will make you bleed for this." Who are you guys picturing as closer to him right now? I think I'm going to make you both roll D6s, and whoever rolls higher is further away.
All right.
So Stas and Ascalon.
Oh, well,
Roll
we
some-
already know the answer to this.
Go ahead, Stas. Just to see. Oh, yeah. Stas is definitely like Stas has maneuvered to put Ascalon
Mr.
between himself
Sleepyhead.
and the Russ brother. All right, Wayne. So that there is an attack coming your way.
All right, well,
So
I
are you
will
going to
dodge.
dodge? Okay. So here comes the flail. Mhm. I don't have the right weapon equipped, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that right now. Son of a
Oh,
nope, he misses.
All right.
You know, and guys, correct me. He doesn't have to dodge, does he? You don't have to commit the thing. It's if there's a hit. Yeah. Which brings us to Stas. So Ascalon has danced back from this flailing sensor. The guy's right in front of you. What's Stas going to do?
Gonna attack him.
He's going to go
Is
back
he-
inside and sleep.
Is he near range? I guess I gotta get to
He is
arm's
definitely
length.
definitely near range.
Then I move to arm's length,
Yeah.
and then I smash him with my hand axe.
All right. He has no actions left, so he can't defend.
Boogie woogie. Come on, so I can go back to sleep.
Oh!
That's how mad I am because you
Just-
guys woke
just-
me up.
Describe it, Stas. How do you kill this guy in one blow?
I when I'm walking, I walk up to him, rolling up my sleeves. I was trying to sleep. Bam! And I hit him right in the freaking head.
Plant it.
And then I leave it there and then I walk away.
I think he does one of those things where he drops to his knees and his body falls in a way that he doesn't collapse all the way. So he's left sort of half crouched with the axe in the middle of his head. Quite dead, quite instantly dead. Oh, Garm. It's on our orc.
Yeah.
You're at
Garm
short.
again says,
Yeah, you're at
"He's a
short range, right?
whore."
Or you're at near
and
range.
I'm at
Forget.
near.
Near. Okay.
I'm at near. And so I'll use a fast action to close. And then I'm
Yep.
going to swing my sword at him.
Okay. Because you have bellowed, I'm going to say that he has some awareness you're coming.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
giving you one of these where he's got his sword, but he's just kind of, keeping track of the two of you. So he's already used one action to dodge, hasn't he?
Mhm.
Can you do that twice?
As long as you have the actions.
Yeah. Okay. He may end up doing that again. We'll see. Go
Mhm.
ahead and take your best shot there, buddy. Oh dear. look at Phil. I think he has to try and dodge here, or I should say parry.
Right.
So let me bring up his sword. Here comes the parry. parried one of them. So Garm, describe how you bring down Garvin.
Yeah,
The
he
Iron
doesn't turn.
Guard.
He doesn't turn fully towards Garm. So Garm comes up and kind of shoulders that sword that he was kind of holding to the side and just swings all the way around and clear through the neck. Head comes off. And then he
Nice.
like the head's like kind of like falling off of his shoulders, and Garm actually kicks the head so that it moves off to the side and just shoves the body over.
Ooh, the head
I
of the
hate
helmet
these
is like
guys.
clang, 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 clang.
Perfect
Oh.
timing. Perfect timing. Couldn't have planned that better.
It's like we drew it up, I think is what you usually say.
Woo. Woo.
And I think we have ended the combat. I think all three Rust brothers are dead.
What's
Exhale.
the horse do?
But the horse is just standing, looking, watching all this. So what do you guys do with the horse? So the two of you,
It's got-
especially.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's got fangs.
Yeah, no, I ain't going near that thing. Gonna ready an arrow just in case.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. I wanted to look at my notes on something.
Does anybody have animal handling? Wayne, you're
I know
muted,
where-
I think.
Demon handling.
Demon,
God, let
demon
that thing-
animal handling.
Let that thing wander
Right.
off.
Yeah.
Let it wander off. It's a foul
Uh,
thing.
So
Garm
you
will
get
step.
you get a better look at it. Sorry. And it's probably 100 feet away or 75 feet away or something like that, right? By now it's kind of cantered to the back. You can see that it sort of looks like it wants to go into the woods. But the look you get, it has these like pure black eyes that have a glint of red. It definitely has a mouthful of sharp fangs. And it also has almost like a rack. It's a horse, but it has kind of an antlery thing going on. And you can see blood dripping from the rack. You can tell that if you don't do anything, the thing is about to canter away into the woods. Or you can try to capture it or fight it.
That looks horrific. We're gonna
Yes.
let it run, right? Like,
Yes. Harrigan, would I know anything about those horses, having grown up with the Rust brothers?
What you would know, Con, is that as you move through the ranks in the Rust Brothers, there are some of the, I'm forgetting what they're called, not misshapen, but misborn or something like that. Some people who have some disfigurements and that sort of thing. And frequently, as you move up in the ranks, you submit yourself to some of the higher ups in the church to have that done to you. And the same thing is done with the mounts. So these people who have the higher positions will have animals that have been like fused with other things. And that's what you think this thing is, this
Okay.
mount.
All right.
And it gives
I guess
you
I'm
it gives you
wondering-
a horse neigh that isn't like a just like, but then it thump 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 thump
Yeah.
thump into the woods.
I guess the question I have is like, do they have an intelligence to go back to camp? Or is it just going to go off in the woods? Like, do they return? Like, if there are any stories of riders having died in combat, but the horses go back to camp, things like that, or do they disappear?
This is an animal. It's not a mystical beast, right?
Got it.
So it's not
Okay.
going to just evaporate or anything.
Yeah.
But I think it wouldn't be unheard of for there to be tales of this one mount save the night by doing X, Y, and Z. But it wouldn't be like they're commonly known to go and like fetch other Rust brothers and bring them
Right on.
here. That's
Perfect.
not a common
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right, then let it go, Garm. You're right. Just let it go. Let it go.
Stops
Let it
at the edge of the woods, turns and looks back at you, snorts one last time, then turns and into the
Yeah.
woods.
Guy here. Get.
rude gestures aplenty.
Indeed. Stas, you absolutely did not get your rest. I'm sorry to tell you. The exertion of the hand axe, all right. So with 15 minutes to go here before we hit the 3-hour mark, do you guys want to do a little bit more in the scene and talk about what you do in the aftermath, or do you want to pause and do XP and resume here next time? What do you want to do?
Well, there's only one more quarter, and I don't know how much we would.
You know what? If you guys want to, I'm willing. I can go another half an hour if you want to. It's fine with me.
I'm
which case-
okay doing that.
In which case, we could do another quarter. I'm sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's do that.
Phil-
Let's do that.
Phil, are
so
you
we can
okay?
Kind of.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's do that
Late
so we
for
can
you.
kind of,
Close the scene. Yeah.
close the scene, and we can kind of start fresh. Whatever.
Okay. So describe for me how you what do you do with the bodies? Like there's this moment when you're all kind of come back together and realize adrenaline's starting to ebb a little bit. Arta has come back and she's carrying this crossbow over her shoulder that she got from God knows where.
It's like big enough that it wasn't hidden on her person, right?
It's not like a big arbalist giant crossbow, but the thing is like 3 feet long.
Yeah, it wasn't
And-
something she had like just under her.
Did not have it
robes
beneath
or
her
something.
robes. No.
Gotcha. Garm just kind of nods.
Hmm.
Good shooting.
We killed 3 of them, she says. 3 of them.
I'll go over to her and I'll say, thank you for sticking with us and fighting alongside us.
She just nods.
Okay.
If I may, from what I understand, well, not what I understand. I know these guys are real a-holes. Do we burn them? Do we just set them out for the ravens to peck at? What do you think?
Well, I think
Burn
we
'em.
should. Sure, I'd like to search them first. And,
Well, yes, yeah. We'll take what we can.
I'd burn
He
them.
says
What?
lots of ideas.
No, to you. I mean, you loot the bodies without a doubt, Ascalon, if that is your wish. But I mean, burn them. I mean, they follow rust. They would want to be in the dirt where their armor would continue to rust. If we burn them, we will deprive them of that pleasure. Just burn them.
Good idea.
That sounds like a lot of effort. I was just going to say, push them off and let the minnows eat them.
They will continue to rust. They will be by their god. But whatever.
Oh, wow. We got together.
We can
Okay.
burn them.
All right.
First, let's check their pockets. They might have some good gear. Maybe we can fix that armor into something nice.
Oof, good luck with that.
It's true.
So this is the fourth quarter.
We're starting the fourth quarter. End of let's end the third quarter right here. By about midnight, you've won the battle. So you'll have to figure out if somebody's going to rest, because none of you, except for even Garm, didn't really get a full
Mhm.
rest.
I can stay
Right.
awake. Garm offers. I'll keep
So,
watch. He's
put it
kind of
this way.
pissed.
You have not buried the boy and the man.
Mhm.
The bodies are littered everywhere around here, right? The 2 sensors are probably laying in the dirt, kind of lowly burning. The horse is left. The 5 of you now have come back together. So what's the overall plan? Then we'll talk about actions for the quarter. At the start of the fourth quarter, what are you doing?
Loot the bodies, put
Okay.
out the sensors so they don't burn anything down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Maybe prep to burn the bodies, but probably not burn them during the night. I don't know. if
Yeah, let's
that
get
would
some
be-
rest. Let's get some rest.
And I can stay up. It'll be all right. Oh, I can rest tomorrow. Be fine.
Yeah, we don't have to head off possibly too early in the morning.
Keep it down, Jesus.
We turn around and he's gone. Son of a bitch.
You hear the door shut.
Click.
Okay, so give me. I know we're looting, but so give me the
Mhm.
actions. Like who's sleeping, who's on watch for quarter 4.
Sleeping.
I'm
Sleeping.
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 Watching.
Sleeping and watching. I think it's, if you want to loot, you can probably loot and then sleep. I think that's fine.
Let's
Okay.
let's loot and sleep. And
Okay,
put out the fires.
Understood. All right, let's do the 3 bodies.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, give me a couple of things on the table here. That's interesting.
You know you have tables for those.
I'm
Harrigan,
looking at
and
them right now. I'm trying to make sure that they're set up correctly.
You have macros too for those, by the way. So you could dump
Yeah.
the fine items, the trinkets, all that stuff down in the
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah, I could do that, but I mean, I've got the tables up, so it's easy enough to roll on them. what I want to make sure is that I have discovered some things that are incorrect about the Foundry like module.
What?
Like when I brought in one of the Rust brothers or the Knight, their stats weren't all right.
What?
And I had to sort of fix them a little bit. So I want to make sure that the treasure.
Was there an
For
errata?
I didn't look. This was this afternoon. So the treasure tables, for example, one of them ends in the Foundry at 44, and I want to make sure that it doesn't really end at 44.
Ah.
I don't think it does. So if you can just be a little patient, let me get
Bless
the
you.
treasure.
Thank you. Yeah, right.
John and the other group was like, these tables are just mind boggling. I don't understand. A lot of them are like, 37, 38, 39. Those aren't listed. Like, John, it's D66. It doesn't go past 7. Oh, he's like, oh, don't I feel like an idiot? He's been running Forbidden Lands wondering why these tables are all screwy.
Why
That is
after
hilarious.
29? Why does it
Yeah.
go to, or 26? Why does it go to 31?
Yeah. He's like, I don't understand.
That's
They're
funny.
like, John, that's a D66. The 6s don't go past 6. Oh, God. Don't I feel like an idiot? Like, it's all right, John. It's all good.
That's hilarious.
Well, that might be a problem, what I'm looking at right now.
It should still go up to 66.
Is treasure in the GM's guide or is it in the?
I believe it's in the GM's guide. Yeah.
That's the problem I'm having right now.
Yeah, it's not in the players. Players don't need to know that.
It don't. So I may
Screwy.
end up rolling this manually because I think the tables are totally
Back in
different.
1 second.
Screwy players.
Dude, they're not right. The tables aren't right.
What?
No. Let
What are we
me
paying for in these things?
simple carried fines.
I paid 12 hard-earned dollars for this
Yes,
stuff.
right. $14
For all of
for
this.
Not only that, you'll love this. Some of the values are above 6 in the tens in the ones digit. So you
Shut
can't
up.
roll them. 38, 39, 40,
That's
39.
crazy.
You can't roll 39.
That's redonkulous. Who put
All right,
those
I'm gonna-
together? I think
Gonna
I have
try one.
access to them. I should look at them.
You should.
Roll table, core game tables. What
Yeah,
are you
they're all
looking-
like this.
What are you looking under?
I am
Valuable
looking under-
items?
Treasures and fines. Pick one. I did simple carried fines.
Did you? Okay.
I wonder if either I type something in or it's. I don't think so. No, they've all got this. See
They
that? See it?
are messed up.
They're hosed. They're all
Yeah.
hosed.
Yeah, they're totally hosed.
For
they've
some
got
reason, copper
this weight-
coins.
Oh, you
has
know
a
what,
weight-
though?
Has a
You know
The
what,
weight of
Harrigan?
21.
They are rolling a 1d44 though.
yeah.
they're not rolling
it's
a
the
D-
same thing. They're not. They're rolling. Yeah, they're rolling a 1d44 because it doesn't matter to the table. It's just one.
They're not doing it per the book. They're doing it.
What? Okay.
Don't
Why
I
not?
mean? Yes, it's screwy, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's hard to roll a D66 table.
If
Shouldn't
there's
be.
only one result, so the tables just have a weight for the number of times you could achieve that result, and then it generates its own random number scheme based upon the weight.
I don't know if I trust it, but I'll roll on it and we'll see what we get. So for the first of the two dudes,
The weight-
17 gold.
There is only one entry on the simple carried fines, Wayne, that has a different weight. One row.
and that's correct because
Okay.
2d6 copper coins is 11 through 31 on the D66 table.
So I think they did it. They just didn't do D66, right? They
They
just
didn't
went
do
why,
1 through
why the
Right.
hell would you do that?
1
if
through
you're doing-
44. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't believe it's going to work, but I'm going to try it.
If you roll the table, it should work.
Yeah.
We'll see.
22 copper. Right.
A bronze statuette. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah.
All right. So clearly, it's not bronze, it's iron. This is clearly a iron statue of Rust. So I think you all know that, especially condos, it's crude. You can't create really beautiful depictions or icons of rust or heme, or it's blasphemous. So they have to be crude and that sort of thing. Maybe this one is large enough that you can actually get some value out of the iron in it. So it's
Yeah,
worth
we can
22
melt
copper.
Melt
Yep.
it down.
Melt it down. So that was on the first of the brothers.
Okay.
Second one is carrying.
You have me selected when you're rolling those, by the way.
I do. I will stop that immediately. So the other one has a bronze dagger, ceremonial, worth 5 silver.
Hmm.
And then finally, this is Garvin, the knight. Oh,
Pearl.
you find a pearl in his pouch. I'm going to give you
I
one
would
more
like
roll.
to deface the iron statue to get some filings off of it.
Go to town.
Okay. And I am cutting the hand off of one of those dudes.
I will
There you
gladly
are.
help.
Mm.
Has weird inscriptions.
So that's the pearl. So the pearl
Ooh,
that you
weird.
find has strange little tiny inscription. Man, maybe it's a big pearl. Maybe it's a pearl. It's like this big. Some things written on it. Feels kind of strange in the hand.
At some point in the near future, I might be able to tell if that's magical, but not today.
Correct.
Not this day.
And I think between. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
What weapon was that he was using?
He had a longsword. So you know what? I'll go through that. If you guys are okay with it, I'll go through their gear as well.
Right.
Okay.
There's something else I'm going to do. Just going to do this quickly. First of the priests also had 4 coppers. They both had 4 coppers. The knight had 14 silver
Whoa.
on him, in addition to the other stuff. Now, in terms of the other stuff they have these sensors, right? They're both carrying daggers, one of which is a plain dagger, one of which is that ceremonial dagger.
Right.
And what was your question, Kevin? Sorry. The knight's
I
weapons.
asked, yeah. Yep.
So the Iron
And
Guard.
potentially armor as well.
So the Rust brothers were not armored, but the knight certainly was. He had chainmail, a great helm. On his back, never had a chance to fetch it, is a large shield.
Oh,
There are the 2 flails. There is a heavy crossbow as well. Scratch that. That's on the horse. Horse took off.
Yeah.
And his longsword.
sweet.
I think that's it. So you guys, if not all that was in the chat, if that's okay, you guys can divvy it up. Kevin's got notes.
He's got notes.
Okay.
Oh no!
Whoa, what the heck was that?
That was sorry. Oh, fix
Okay. Sorry. Hey, Kevin, you didn't put down their hand of Russell.
Oh.
Sorry, kidding.
Look at
Kevin,
how
do you
it's
have
scrolling.
Kevin, do you have access to journals? If you go to journal at the top of the chat,
You're
you
gonna.
may be able to make your own journal entry.
Create journal entry.
That's only independent to you, though, typically, unless Harrigan opens that up. But usually each player can create a journal. Just so you know, like you could put the stuff in there, but
If you can, I'll look into it. I think coming off of tonight,
Yeah.
there's a few things we all want to do. Like, let's get you guys to get pictures of your characters and attach to the
Mhm.
Yeah,
icons. Send
I
them
will
to
add
me.
that.
And
there is nobody that looks like me.
no,
Nobody.
The armor and the great helm look very much like Rust brother stuff.
oh yeah, they do. They're sturdy. They're not about to fall apart, but they're absolutely Like the chainmail has chains hanging off it too to make it extra heavy, and there's extra rust that's kind of all over the place. The helm is just not in good. It's not been looked after, but it's sturdy. Taking the helmet, you have to take it off the guy's head, right? So when you do that, and I think he announced who he was, right? His name was Garvon. Garvon has one eye that is stitched shut, like looks like he lost it at some point. And then he has on one cheek a bird eye that has opened, like a black raven's eye or an eagle eye kind of thing. And on the other cheek, there are two beaks that are poking out, like he had a part of a bird embedded in his head. God. Phil.
Damn Rust Brothers.
I love the expressions.
Fucking weird.
That,
Filthy rust.
I actually, Ascalon's like, that's fascinating.
It's unnatural.
Ascalon, you can.
Assuredly.
Yeah. It's some sort of fusion of flesh, of monster and man, of demon and human flesh, something like that, which is not uncommon with Rust Brothers.
This perversion takes so much work.
It does. All right, we're gonna
You
do.
humans are so fascinating.
I don't know. I would take the coins and leave the rest. Those are all cursed items of rust. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Divvy up the
I'm gonna
coins. I will have my fair share, but I care nothing for what else these men carried.
I'm going to take the large shield.
Filthy.
I can use that.
Couldn't these
But yeah, I will leave
these
the rest.
extraneous chains be removed from the chainmail?
It could, absolutely. The whole thing could be kind of cleaned up.
So I don't know if you guys know this stuff, but the knights of old, they would store their chainmail in a leather bag filled with sand. And then you just roll this bag around and the sand scrapes the rust off of the chainmail. And then you pull it out and shake it off and you've got clean mail.
You need to do some of that. You should get some sand. And the fourth quarter, 3 of you rest. It passes uneventfully. So dawn comes on the lake to the east. It's just a battlefield outside where there's just blood spilled all over. The bodies are where you left them. The birds are all feasting as you all rise. Garm, you have not rested, correct?
Yep, I just checked off sleepy.
There you go.
I think
Okay,
I
so you're
lose 1 wits.
Garm sleepy. Oh, I can end the combat finally. Yeah, let's do
I
that.
take sympathy.
Okay. I'm going to go harvest my hand and put it in my little bag of salt. and then I'm going to go help. I'm going to finish burying the family first. And I'll ask if, someone would help.
Is this
Garm will help.
We've rested at this point? Is this the next quarter?
This is the next.
This is
This is
next day.
Q1 of the
Gotcha.
next day. In fact, I need to move the clock here.
Gotcha. Okay. Con will start working on the boats.
Day. Sorry, I have to figure out the clock controls here.
Stats,
wanna
give me a
move a
hint,
whole
these
day.
boats.
I went to bed.
No, I think we're past that now.
Oh, we are?
He's still sleeping.
Yeah, he's that guy. Sleeping the quarters away.
Yeah, we've just finished basically Q4, which is midnight to 6 a.m. 3 of you slept. Garm stayed on watch. It was uneventful. So as the sun comes up, the birds are outside feasting. I should roll weather, but beyond that, the four of you are able to do what you need to do. Garm is sleeping, so he could sleep or rest or not. And I don't know did someone else click the weather? Maybe it did that by itself. Rain is in the forecast. You can see storm clouds gathering.
Okay.
Great.
Well, I want to get the family buried. I will.
Yep.
I'll
Which
be
will
there.
require some help, right?
Okay.
Who's going to help Ascalon with the burial?
Get time for that.
We gotta get this boat going.
Why, Ascalon? Why are you doing that? You don't even know these people.
We need to get the boat sorted. We need
I
to
don't
get out of
want
here.
any more of these
before
damn
more
birds
rust.
giving us away.
Hey, before Garm goes to sleep in the first quarter, he says, I can work on the boats, but I should sleep first. If you take care of everything else, we can, tag team the boats. Or I could stay awake, and he's kind of like looking
Hey,
through
Con.
woozy eyes.
No.
Con, if you help with the burial, it won't take 6 hours to bury these people and whatnot. I'll give you a -1 on your crafting die if you want to then start crafting as well.
Why are we prioritizing these complete strangers? We need to get out of here. We need to get these boats sorted, Ascalon. My gosh, you and your weird body fetishes. And I go over and help them shovel these people in the ground.
So Arta says silent prayers while you do that. She stands by the graveside. You put both bodies in the ground, start shoveling the dirt on top. She just kind of stands looking down at them.
Okay.
But when you're nearly finished, she turns and walks from the grave. So not much ceremony from her.
We should have got her to help you, Ascalon. We could have been working on these boats. We don't even think they're her.
We're going to take the day. We're going to take the day. It's okay.
People aren't probably in their family. She could have been doing the shoveling.
All right, Q1.
You're always in such a rush, you people. It's just
Khan's going to do his best to find out exactly what needs to be repaired on the boat. Garm's going to rest. Ascalon is doing what after the burial? What are you going to do? There's all the Rust brothers laying around still.
I mean, he's not Ascalon's got strength of 3. I guess he will. I mean, it's raining. It's not going to be. I'm not going to get a fire going. I'll just pull the bodies, together. I guess.
So I will say, by the time you have the burial finished, the skies have opened and it is raining pretty hard. So it starts with a drizzle, but within the hour, it's like it's coming down.
Okay.
You pull the bodies together, and Arta stops by and says, "Leave them. Let the birds eat them."
Say the same thing. That's about the smartest thing I've heard this girl say. What are you doing?
Give them no attention.
We don't have time for this.
What are you going to do? Sleep some more?
No, but we got to get going. We can't stay here all
We
this
can't
time.
get going until the boats are fixed.
We've got one boat that works.
And we got too many people.
What is it with you hung up on these people we don't even know? Ascalon, help me out.
He's looking at their hands like,
Yeah, right.
I mean,
They're
I know
very
you guys-
interesting specimens.
That's fine. Chop off their hands. Let's move on.
Arta says, "They're filth," and she spits at them on the ground.
Yeah. Filth.
Okay, without skipping a beat, I'm going to turn and say, so did you know them before you came to live here with this family? I just want to see if she bites.
She just shakes her head and says, "No."
All right.
I'm going to help the boy with the boats. Arda turns and heads off for Con.
Okay.
What does Stas and Akalon do?
Start packing up my stuff, man. Gotta get this, put this in there, put that in there. Let's go. Let's get the boat over. Let's turn the boat over. Let's get going.
Help me out, player who's run this game. What are you doing for the quarter? What action are you taking?
Oh, I see. Sorry. Are we going by land or are we going by boat?
Well, we have to wait for them to fix the boat. So
until noon, Garm
Yeah.
is going to be sleeping and Khan's going to be working on the boats. And I think the overall idea is you're not going to go anywhere until the second boat is in good repair. But you can argue that point by all means.
I'm gonna. All right, since we gotta wait for the boat to be fixed, I might as well go and probably, I don't know. I will go and hunt and get some rabbit for our journey.
There you go.
Fish. That's dangerous.
You could
Be
fish.
fine. I won't go very far.
You got a boat. You got line.
Oh, don't take the boat out there.
I'll ask her come with me. Come with me, girl. Well, as I spill this drink on my face.
Arta.
Arta, yes. Come. We'll go hunting. Do you know this area well?
I know it well enough.
Excellent. Then you know where to get game.
She
Yes.
nods. She says, "You mean for our stores for when we leave?
Yes.
I'll come with you."
Excellent.
Khan, she was working with you. She drops the planks and the hammer she had in her hands. She's like, peace.
We'll be back.
But she and Stas are going to go hunting. Stas will give you a +1 to your hunting roll when you make it. And Ascalon, what's your action for the quarter?
I don't think I could do. I'm going to go in the house and look for a piece of cloth, and I guess we've already looked for a candle. Is there? Is there any kind of small container that I could find in here?
For what purpose? Like what kind of small container?
All right, for one of my spells, I need.
I mean, does it have to have does it have to close? Is it?
Well, it has to be rotten food, so I don't really want it to be, I don't want to carry with, a diseased, dead.
50-50, Wayne, throw a D6. If you get a 4, 5, or 6, you can find the container that you need.
All right.
Sean, you just rolled find prey. Is that right?
I did.
You successfully hunt.
Correct.
Now we have to figure out what you found.
Okay.
A boar. Boars attack if you fail.
Yeah, this will be fun.
All right. All right. So did you add 1 to your roll for Arta?
I
fine
did
prey?
not roll for Arta at all.
Okay. All right. So for your hunt,
Oh,
I'll
I'm
let you
sorry.
add the.
I'm sorry, I added a 1 modifier to my roll originally. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you do the same thing for trying to take down the boar, right? Difficulty is -1, however.
So +1, -1?
Yeah. So you're flat.
Okay. All right.
Ooh! Lucky. All
Come
right.
here, pig. Oh, get this. See it. I see it. You see it up there. Here it comes.
Yeah. And so, Wayne, I have an idea for what Ascalon's doing, because you're kind of searching, foraging, etc., and you probably even want to take a hand at some point, right?
Yeah.
Can we also say that you're keeping watch, because no one else is keeping watch this quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably apply a modifier because you are distracted.
That's fun.
Okay. So Stas and Arta come out of the woods with a boar, and Sean, you've got 4 meat and 2 pelts.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know how that works, right? Unless you cook it, you have to use it today, I think. So that can be up to 4 meals.
Correct. And I do
Yeah.
not have, well, I don't have cook yet.
Gotcha. So right now, just make sure you don't have it on your sheet somewhere. You got 4 meat, you got 2 pelts, as long as someone's
Shit.
tracking it.
I didn't roll Master of the Hunt. That's fine. It all worked out.
Oh, did you have Master of the Hunt?
I did. I do.
Oh, so you're a good hunter.
I hold my own. It's
Yeah.
part of the trade. I gotta, not wandering around aimlessly. I gotta make sure I eat.
Arda just looks at you as you're bringing the boar back. You're dragging it, I imagine. She's just like, good shot. You know what you're doing with that. You have a bow, or is that what you used?
No, hand axe.
Jesus, you killed the boar with a hand axe.
Yeah.
He's good with that axe.
I took it out of that guy's skull and on my way out. I'll be right back.
That's right.
Son of a oh, shit. I kick it.
Okay, so last thing I need to do. Give me a second here.
I actually make her carry it back.
The boar?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. If you want to leave the boar in the woods, you can do that.
What?
He'll help
All
you.
right. Fine.
The strong-willed girl.
Jeez. Girl, you're going to have to make your way in this world. You don't have any parents or next to kin to help you. Might as well start now. But if you want to be headstrong, be that way.
I can look after myself, she says, and she helps pull the boar.
All right.
2 of you are pulling it. And I see that I'm failing as my behind the screen GMness here. You guys can see that there's no encounter, I suspect. So the quarter passes until noon, so Q1. So Garm, you're sleeping, is that right?
No longer
Sleeping.
sleepy.
So I think we need, Wayne, we don't need you to make a scouting roll because there's no encounter, but I think we get Con to make a crafting roll at -1 because he was distracted with the burial. Make sense, Con?
Sure. So I'll
Do it.
just reduce my strength from 3 to 2.
No.
I think there's a
You
way
have
to
you have a
put a
modifier?
modifier on it.
When
Think
you
it-
click
oh.
it, you can put a modifier on it.
Sure.
Yeah,
A
but,
modifier.
but he succeeded anyway.
Beautiful. There we go.
Yeah. Yep.
On
So
success.
you figured out where the leak is
Yeah.
and what you need to do to fix it. So one more crafting roll, one more success will fix the boat.
Next
basically.
order. Got it.
Yep. So yeah, end of Q1. It's noon. The rain's still coming down. The boar's been dragged back to camp. Garm is awake. I think we should probably wrap here and do experience points.
Love it.
I'll tell you what, if you want, I will go ahead and roll my my ration, and everybody else can just be assumed to eat the boar.
Well, you're not eating yet. I won't get you to roll for your food until the end of the day, typically.
Okay, all right. Well, I just thought if you wanted to take care of that, that's okay. All right,
I don't, because I'll probably
All right.
forget and make you ask you to roll again next
sure,
session.
sure.
So I don't want to do that.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. So you've got some fresh meat. You've got pelts. Wayne, did you throw a D6 and get a container? I didn't see that.
I rolled a 1. I can't remember what you told me. I had to roll high or low, honestly.
It's always going to be high for me, so that's no good. So you did
Okay,
not find. There's probably stuff in here, but you didn't find anything that you think is just right,
Fine.
appropriate.
That's fine. All right.
Okay. All righty. All right. We ready, guys, to do experience points?
Yes.
Okay. I really do need to get some quick references so I can just go right to that stuff when I want it. And experience is on page. It's been long enough that we haven't done this.
It should be pinned to the
Here it is. I've got it.
channel.
Did you participate? Count them up.
Yep.
Did you travel through a hex?
Nope.
No.
Not.
Did you discover a new adventure site?
No.
Did you defeat one or more monsters?
That's always-
that's
that's
the
give,
debate.
I'll look like a
I'll give-
monster.
No, I'll give it to you. I'll
Okay.
totally give it to you. Did you find a treasure? 1 gold or more? You did.
Yeah.
All that silver amounted to more than 1 gold.
Yeah.
Did you build a function in your stronghold? No. Did you activate your pride? I think everybody forgot about prides.
Yeah.
No.
Suffer from your dark secret? I'm going to give it to Khan.
Okay.
If you guys, especially if you guys hadn't attacked, one mechanic we haven't used in this game very much is reputation.
Right.
Whenever
Mhm.
Khan runs into a Rust brother, he's going to have to roll reputation, and they're going to have bonuses to recognize him. So
Nice.
just be aware. So I would give that to Con. Did you risk your life for another PC? Like a couple of times that may have happened. What do you think? No?
I did it because
I-
I was tired. I didn't do it to risk for somebody else's life.
Okay.
I started, I kicked off the fight because I was worried about, Stas getting burned alive and
Let me
Con,
ask
so.
you how you guys want to play this one, because this one could be like this.
Ah,
Look,
fine.
we got in a fight. We all risked our lives. But
Right.
the way that we've been playing it in Sean's game is it has to be like a moment when someone makes a decision,
Sure.
right?
Sure, that's
Mhm.
fine.
To like, I'm going to go all in on this, like try to make a jump or whatever, right? And if that's the case, I don't know if anybody did a real
Okay. All right.
Nah, it's just combat.
Garm, maybe, but I'm going to say no.
I didn't quite get there. Maybe
Yeah.
if he got a chance to attack me.
Okay. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? I want to go down the line on this one. Let's start with Stas. I'm going to be liberal with the experience points. I'll tell you that, because I loved you staying in bed.
Yeah.
So take an experience point for that. I thought that was spectacular.
All right.
There was a big battle brewing, and you're like, no.
Outrageous behavior.
It was. It was.
I love it. Yeah.
I definitely think Ascalon's spell to
Spell.
attack the
Yep.
knight to start the combat was pretty
Yes.
spectacular
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
for sure.
Mhm.
What
Totally.
about Garm and Con for an extraordinary action?
I think I thought Khan's arrow shot there, kind of Hail Mary arrow shot that ended up doing a bunch of 2 damage to the guy, didn't it? Or 3?
It did too.
That's pretty awesome. But
Mhm.
and of course, a beheading on the part of the orc, that's always good.
Yep, I would give it to you for both of that. Like I said, I'll be generous. We're only going to do a short run here, or a limited run maybe. So take the experience points, guys.
Hey.
And then I think that's it. Does that make sense?
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it for the XP. All right, how do we feel about the session?
That was
Good,
fun.
bad,
Brilliant.
That was good. That was
Yeah.
good.
Brilliant.
Didn't get to
It's-
travel
it's
very
really-
far.
It's really funny because we'll have sessions where we travel 6 to 8 hexes, and then another session where we're still in the same hex. But
We get
This was
5
cool.
quarters done.
Right.
Yeah, right.
but
Yeah.
I liked the Rust Brothers coming out so we could learn a little more about some of our characters. I think that worked well.
Good. You're okay with my interpretation of the rules engine? I think I'm trying to do a little more modification of based on what's happening in the moment type of thing, like
Mhm.
someone being busy
Yeah.
with something, +1, -1, that kind of thing.
That's fine.
I'm starting to get used to it.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, especially with this swingy system, giving somebody a die, it's not that big of a. I mean, it's a nice
Right.
little benefit. But it's not like this is a huge swing.
It's no guarantee, right?
No.
Yeah.
I really like the combat that developed between Khan and the Knight. I thought that played out pretty nicely.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
that
fun.
you were worried, Phil.
Oh, I thought he was going down. I mean, I had 2
Mhm.
strength. He swings that thing and he hits. I'm down.
Two
Yeah.
string.
Yeah.
Noted.
Critical injury.
Yeah, I'd been over.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for playing.
Oh, it's fun.
Absolutely. Thank
yeah,
you.
thanks, Aragon.
This has been a Litterbox Studio production.